drops, you always see the sky. Angel on a satellite. Angel on a satellite.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What? Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. We're live. Look at me over here, my freaking enlarged head. I'm covering Hello Kitty. How is everybody doing? I kind of look different. Do you guys like my makeup look? You guys enjoy the makeup look? Welcome in. This is Streams of Collective Consciousness. It is June 9th, and it is 5 p.m. Central Time. I function out of this Canva deck most of the time because I do kind of forget what I say most of the time, and I lose my spot in a lot of different things. So if you ever want to keep track about what I'm going to cover, such as sustainable fashion, environmentalism, and social justice, you can go ahead and follow this stream through the Canva. It's in my YouTube description. So if you're in Twitch, you would have to go find my YouTube. It's called Sustainable Amor. But yeah, all the news is here. It's laid out. We're going to be talking about the Illinois Vintage Fest. We're going to be talking about the art of textile recycling and so much more, such as Goodwill's program for creators. And then there's also some drama with Temu, how they're selling illegal products, which is kind of scary if you think about it. And then I do want to explore some other things like the Hello Kitty campaign that I saw happen back in 2012. Is my audio okay? And then there's okay, yes. I am so paranoid about audio. Amazing. It's working, you can hear me. And there's also now super Goodwills. So those have been opening up in Bay Area, so we're going to explore what that means. I've never been to a super Goodwill. I've been to Goodwill bins. I've been to Goodwill stores, but I've never been to a super Goodwill. And then there has been some drama with Adidas and their recent collaboration with indigenous artisans. So we're going to explore the public commentary. I don't have any personal opinions about it. I did cover this a while ago. Maybe a week ago, I think I covered it. But I thought it was good. I thought it was good that they were collaborating with indigenous artisans, but it really came down to they weren't paid enough in comparison to how much Adidas made from the collaboration. Samuel 14. Thank you so much for the follow. Hopefully you're doing amazing this Tuesday. We're going to be talking about Ivyanshu. I think that's how you say his name, but unfortunately he passed away. He was a model, if you don't know, and he died on site. He drowned basically, and it's very unfortunate. So we're gonna explore that. Not super familiar with it, but we should explore that. See what we can do going forward. Like what are the protections for models? How can we prevent future drownings or future events like this to happen again? Like I always feel like we should prevent the suffering and violence against the most vulnerable. I feel like he was just trying to work, you know. So I just feel like it's notorious for models to like take up any job and like have no protections under the brand or agency, and that's just sad. They should be protected. All right, and then France has fined Shein. Very interesting indeed. So if you're not aware, France hates Shein, and I love France for it. There's a lot of policies and laws happening right now. They're really trying to get Shein out of the freaking country, but Shein is so embedded in power structures and in weaving their way into places that they shouldn't be in. So despite France not wanting them really in their country, they're still there, and there's a lot to unpack with France and Shein right now. And France is basically finding any way they can to make their life insufferable. So we'll explore that. And then there is a very interesting case of, I was covering this the whole time. You can't see the words because my freaking face is there. Let me go on the bottom then. I will go right here in the bottom. Harry Styles in the background says hi. But basically, there is also more news that businesses in LA are struggling. So we're going to look at one brand that is really trying to fight to keep their spot in the LA fashion district, also known as the garment district. So I think that they're a quinceañera shop, seems like. And then if you guys have heard of Shein buying out Everlane, well, now, if you guys are curious about what's happening with the founder of Everlane, he went on to make a new brand called, quote-unquote, Still Radical. This kind of feels dystopian, to be totally honest. It feels like a joke. Almost like they're throwing water at us after they set the house on fire. But, you know, he's on to new and better things, quote-unquote, Still Radical. He sold out, but he's still radical. And there's a bunch more stuff happening as well. We'll take a look at some UN studies, if we have time, about the African secondhand clothing trade. There's some videos that I want to watch. Some great initiatives like the Good Clothes Network popping up in the UK by influencers and activists there. But I did want to watch this video. It's called Amber Kelly Changes Clothes. It's a documentary by students in a campus, and it just kind of talks about thrift stores and clothing swaps and sustainability and doing something on a local level, which I really want to start off with because solutions is really important to me. If you're not familiar, I'm Ellie, and I stream on Twitch and on YouTube, and I have a background in sustainability. I have a bachelor's in business, a bachelor's in fashion merchandising, and I really do care about making sure that the environment is taken care of and that we're fighting for worker rights. So I'm all about people, planet, and style. That's what I'm here to do and talk about. And I always like to show my stream schedule. So here's my stream schedule. I'm in Chicago, so everything is going to be in CST time. So Mondays, I'm live from 5 to 8. Then Tuesdays, 5 to 8. That's when the news happens. And then I'm trying to stream... So Wednesdays, 5 to 8 as well. So tomorrow I'll be live as well. I will be doing PJ Pants. And then Friday, I'm going to be continuing those PJ pants, hopefully getting those done then. And then Sunday, I want to stream, but I don't know what to stream on Sundays, and sometimes I'm really freaking tired. But my goal is to stream until 10 p.m. Central Time. I just don't have a lot of stamina sometimes, and then I get into my head and I start crashing out, and it's not good for anyone. I really did crash out yesterday on stream. I'm sorry for anyone that witnessed that. That was not pretty. I would not repeat that. Don't mind me. Yesterday was awful. But today is a new day, and I'm really trying to, like, be very consistent. So if you guys ever want, like, someone to listen to around sustainability, environmentalism, social justice, come here. That's what you'll find. That's who I am. This is what I do. I like to describe myself as, like, the ghetto version of Extra Emily and, like, Hassan Piker's little sister. You know, not that, like, Extra Emily and Hassan had a kid and that's me. Extra Emily and Hassan in this, like, metaphor, they do not know each other, even though they're peers in real life, you know. But, like, in this metaphor, like, I'm the ghetto version of Extra Emily, so Extra Emily kind of had me, and then Hassan kind of had me as well as his little sister. So when you combine, like, a very girly pop, high energy, not high energy, I'm not high energy, like, just, I constantly talk, like a high energy yapper, like a massive yapper, that's the proper way of saying it. Combine a massive yapper girly pop moment with, like, values and actually caring about others, this is what you get. So anyways, I think you got the point. Yeah, so for personal time, I always like to take a moment to talk about myself before we get into the news. Last week, I literally talked for like 40 minutes about myself. It was kind of crazy. I had a lot to say, and I kind of lost track of time. So I do want the personal updates to be a bit shorter, because it's just a lot of personal news. And I just kind of feel guilty, and it just feels very narcissistic of me to just take up so much time talking about myself. But one of the main facts that I like to talk about is my love for axolotls. Axolotls are so freaking great. I haven't really covered them much in the streams, so I do need to talk about the axolotls in my life and in the world. There's a lot to discover. Axolotls are endangered. They're based in Mexico, specifically like Mexico City, and their natural living situation is not good because there's a lot of invasive fish, and there's a lot of fishing happening, so that affects them as well. And then there's a lot of tourism. So I do really want to push forward their protection, and that we are more aware of what they're going through, especially because they've become so popularized. Like, every time I go to the store, I see so many axolotl plushies. I'm like, what is happening? Where did this come from? I should go in full cam. I'm kind of like feeling a bit more professional today, especially because I crashed out yesterday. So if I feel like impersonal today, just know, like, yesterday was a very interesting time to be on my live stream. But I'm trying a new makeup look. I've had these eyelashes for quite a while, and I wanted to try them out. It's just, I have huge eyes, so it's very difficult to experiment with eyelashes. I feel like I'm a clown. I feel like I look silly, even though they look decent from the side. But whenever I do eyelashes, I feel like it brings more attention to my eyebrows, and my eyebrows are, like, very intense. So I have very intense features. So when I do, like, something that accentuates my eyes or, like, my face more, my features just get so much more intense. So yeah, today is just a very interesting experimentation of using eyelashes. I haven't used eyelashes in the past 3-4 years. I used to wear them a lot for parties, or just, like, for in general. So it kind of, like, feels normal, but it kind of feels pretentious at the same time because I haven't done them on stream. So it comes off like I'm trying to pull a Hannah Montana moment on you guys. You know what I'm talking about? Like, how there's Miley and then there's Hannah Montana. Well, I just feel like I'm trying to pretend to be Hannah. But, like, honestly, this is just, like, who I am, or was. But but I just haven't tried it on stream. So hopefully you guys like it. I'm still the same person. It's just I just generally don't really do my makeup for stream, and I notoriously stream with my PJs on. And I don't know if any girl relates, but every time I try to do my makeup, I also try to do my hair. And right now my hair is trash, so I'm like, okay, well, the eyelashes are giving, the eyebrows are not really giving, my hair is not really giving, and I have a hoodie on. So I feel inadequate because of the effort that I did with the eyelashes, but like, it's just something, you know, it's just experimenting, but it really does inspire me to go like full glam, and try to like perfect every single part of my look, but it's kind of impossible. It's, I don't know why I switched back to the other screen. I guess I didn't want to be on full cam anymore. But it's really hot out, so I'm in Illinois if you're watching this for the first time or unfamiliar. I'm near Chicago, and it's so humid, and it's so muggy, it's so hot. It is not a pleasant time. I think that was one of the reasons that led me to my crash out yesterday on stream when I was talking about ethics and morality. Like the heat, the tiredness, the pressure I was facing just was a lot for me, and then it just kind of came crashing down. So yes, the heat, the summertime is the worst time for my mental health, so I'm really trying. I think I've been pushing myself a lot given how difficult summer is. I have notoriously avoided this sort of weather. I've had a lot of opportunities to move in different places or to different places, and I've always avoided those that are hot and humid, but Illinois is still like that. Like, I would have to go to freaking, what is it, the North Pole to avoid the heat, but I'm more of a fall person. But I was born in the spring, so those two seasons are my favorite, and everything else they can leave. But yeah, definitely scrambled a bit mentally. I've been applying to a lot of different jobs. I used to be a barista, and then I've applied to be a food pantry assistant for a local like Christian organization that does food outreach stuff. Haven't heard back from them, but today I had my second interview to be a donation attendant for this like local thrift store company that's part of a supply chain that gives their donations to other thrift stores that are connected to them. But basically I would just be a donation attendant. Basically I would be at the center, I'd be receiving the donations, categorizing them, and then helping them be shipped off to the proper thrift store they're supposed to go at. Also helping with like the self-checkout kiosks and helping organize the books that they have in the store. So pretty chill job. In the interview today, I was so nervous because I literally am broke and I really need the job. And they were like asking me my experiences, and I said I used to work at a thrift store for 3 years. I used to help out with everything, as a cashier, as a donation center attendant. I used to price things, keeping things organized. And he really liked me because at the end of it, he asked me for my phone number to like get back to me just in case he couldn't find my application. And I was like, sure, here's my phone number. So I think I got the job. And he said the pros of the job is there's a lot of downtime, so I can read a book or be on my phone or do whatever. And I was like, oh my god, great, that's literally what I want, because I want to watch streams and I want to like do my own thing. I do Depop on the side, so I was thinking about if I get the job to take photos of the stuff that I want to list on Depop, and then I upload them when I'm on site on the job when I have nothing to do. I can also bring my small tablet so I can like work on my blog posts because I have a website. I can work on the streams that I have every night. So a lot of downtime is good for me. So I think it'd be perfect. So hopefully I get it. That way I can make money, become calmer, and focus more on content, which is really what I care about doing. So I'm really excited to get into today's stream because I feel a bit better after that interview. I feel like things have settled a lot in terms of progress. I'm sure I'm going to get it. I think I really did do a good job, and they will get back to me by the end of this week. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll just continue to do Depop and keep applying to jobs and keep trying. That's all you can ever really do. But yes, guys, there's like a little hair growth on my freaking forehead right here, and there's a dent right there, and it's like, bruh. If you guys don't know, I take Centrum gummy worms. These are so good for your health. So if you're thinking about improving your general well-being or general health, I take these. I've been taking these since I was like 18. So it's been a couple years. A lot of years, actually. And they're pretty affordable. They're like $10 or $12. So, yes, that's essentials right there. Essential health right there. Okay, so we're gonna get started. We are going to enter into this video that I was talking about. I really love seeing what people are doing on a local level, because a lot of times I feel like we think of sustainability and the issues in the fashion industry in a very abstract way, when all around the world people are doing so much amazing things to make the world freaking better. So let us look into that, and then we will talk about other major stuff. Okay, let us look at this. Oh, I missed the intro. It is muted. Okay, it is muted, guys.
Community,
mental health,
resourcefulness, positivity. Clothes to start with, it was just a bunch of swap shops. So I was very lucky to be able to travel a lot in my mid to late 20s, and I saw the impact that, you know, fashion can have on less well-off countries. I saw the textile mountains for myself. To do something in the community to help people think about reusing their clothes in a really fun and sustainable way.
Hi, my name is Maria and I'm the head of circular fashion here at Change Clothes. And how I came about Change Clothes was by going to some of their swaps, which I heard about on Instagram and absolutely loved what they were doing. So how I came to get the role as the head of circular fashion here at Change Clothes was I took a career break back in 2024 and I volunteered for Change Clothes, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought, well, this would be amazing if I could turn this into a full-time job. And then we received funding from SSE Electricity, and the dream became true. So with my role, I head up everything to do with retail in Change Clothes, but also redistribution of clothes. Customers sharing stories about their clothes when they come into the swap, which is amazing to see. There's been donations of fabric.
Guys, she's living my dream life, because all I would want to do in life is have my own thrift store in the future, and then make clothing swaps happen, and then I could stream those clothing swaps. I could stream different events like mending circles. We could stream. I could teach different things to sew, like pajamas, for example, once I understand how to do those myself. DIY stuff would be so freaking cool to do on stream. It would just be like literally the best thing ever, so that people can learn and join in and have a place where they're like, oh, this class is free and I don't have to pay like $100 in real life with this local sewist, because now I can learn it on Ellie's stream. Isn't that so cool? Or, oh, let me tune into Ellie's clothing swap in Illinois or wherever she's at, so we can learn how that looks like, and then have just kind of like vicarious fun through her, and maybe be inspired to do it myself, you know? Like, that's kind of like what my long-term vision is. That's kind of like the North Star that I see myself in right now after I crashed out. I'm gonna stop saying I crashed out yesterday. But yeah, basically that would be such a dream if like the setup was like here, in this sort of like environment. And also I was thinking in the long term, just like doing a live stream where people can see what's donated to a thrift store. That'd be so much fun, like a sorting donation stream. That would be a movie. That would be such a movie, because when I lived in Montana, I would just sort donations all day, every day. I love that job, and I still love that job, just because you could see so much different things coming in. Tarot cards, books, shoes, like everything just came in, and I just want to share that experience, because I don't think people realize how much actually comes in on a daily basis to a small local thrift store, and how much is dirty, how much is damaged, and how a lot of us don't even know how to donate, even despite best efforts by the thrift store to provide guidelines and like policies and posters. Like, people still don't really realize how to donate, and then if they do know, they're like, oh, it's not that serious if some things are dirty. No, like, we literally pay, like, thrift stores literally pay out of pocket to get rid of your nasty stuff, because they have to have contracts with textile waste organizations to take away a lot of the textiles that we're not able to sell, and then they have to have contracts with the garbage supply people in the area so they can take away all the freaking random stuff that you donate, like the steel machine that broke like 50 years ago, but somehow you thought, okay, let me donate this rusty thing to the thrift store. Like, bruh, think about it. You're costing the thrift store money. But anyways, going back to my main point, like, this is such a dream
that have come in, and there's been stories behind that as well. It's connection between the customers, it's a sense of community, it's a place to socialise, and then also with our redistribution we have the community closet programme, and so our clothes get donated to people that are living in homelessness. So I've gotten to see firsthand the joy that it brings people to be able to pick their own items of clothing from the clothes that we give to them from Change Clothes. Items here from the swap have been, I remember a pair of shoes donated by a lady from her wedding with the whole story inside the shoes, and I just thought that was absolutely lovely. Also, I've seen people exchange clothes from clothing they wore when they were much younger, so it would be vintage items from the 70s, and seeing a young person coming in and picking them up, and the clothes get to live all over again.
My name is Regina Fogarty, and I'm the manager of the scrap store here at Change Clothes. Part of my role in managing the scrap store is in taking donations.
I've never heard of a scrap store before. I think I'm gonna take some notes, because a lot of the times when we think about how to reuse clothing, we think about dead stock materials, which I feel like is the same or similar concept to this. It's just they've capitalize on all the excess scraps that they find within thrift stores to create things new. So I think scrap store can also be called like the reuse of dead stock materials, which is like the surplus of like other things that have been made in the past by fashion designers or brands. So I think they just kind of reconfigured it by saying scrap store, because they're using things that were already made from the things that they got, and just from what they got, and then just cut it up. I think that's what I'm assuming, but let's just listen. I stuttered a lot. If that made sense, that's great. If it didn't, we'll just watch this.
From members of the public, working with our partner companies such as the Sofa Factory, Irish Linen House, Ireland's Eye, and also helping our volunteers and trainees to settle into.
Oh, I think it would be considered dead stock, because they have partnerships with other stores that are giving them the excess stuff that they don't need, so they reuse it. So basically they are receiving fabrics and then remaking it. I for some reason thought, okay, like they're taking the clothing that they get from donations and then trying to somehow piece it together with other stuff, which is much harder, to be honest, because it's like little pieces of fabrics that you're like trying to connect to other pieces of fabric, versus these sort of bundles in the back over here are more complete and are longer in length and are easier to manipulate and make into something, because it's all like literally one pattern. So that's cool. They have a little supply chain organization happening.
To all of the different aspects of what we work on, such as serving customers, creating shop samples, merchandising, putting things away, and just letting people's creativity flourish and answering whatever questions people might have for us. I discovered Change Clothes through a chance post on Instagram, has to be more than 2 years ago at this point. I absolutely loved what they were doing, and I thought, well, the very least I can do here is try out a swap and see what I can contribute in terms of that. And it was only later on that I got involved as a volunteer. Get in to the scrap store. It comes in as a result of donations from members of the public and partnerships with different companies.
Oh, it's both. Interesting. That's like so cool that she learned about this volunteer opportunity through a clothing swap. I feel like we undermine those sort of events because we're like, oh, well, we're literally just trading items. Like, it's just that. It's just a swap. But I feel like it can be the start of people's journey and sustainability and realizing the impact they have in the fashion industry. And that's why I'm so keyed in and having those and hosting those in the future. And I've been talking about it a lot in my streams. It's just for me right now, I don't have the capacity, but I know those are like super empowering, engaging, fun, and educational, all wrapped in one. And like, you get free clothing at the end of the day just by getting rid of the stuff that you no longer want. Like, it's just a win-win-win situation overall, and it can really like transform people's concept about materiality and consumerism.
There was one company in particular, StyleTex, when they closed, they were extremely generous to us, and we basically took all of the fabric that they had left over, and without that we couldn't be where we are right now. I'm privileged to see just an incredible level of creativity coming through the scrap store in even just the short few months that we've been in operation. People making quilt tops from upholstery samples. We had somebody making their pre-Debs dress. We've had people using the tiniest scraps of wools and yarns to make Christmas decorations, to make mushrooms, baby toys, baby clothes. I think one of the other really special pieces that I can think of is that we've had 2 people creating quilt tops just using our linen offcuts, and just the most incredibly beautiful designs just from these really, really simple offcuts of linen that may have otherwise ended up in a bin.
My name is Jessica Legreed. I am the swap manager here at Change Clothes. I started learning about the organization in 2023. I saw Mary on a panel at the Earth Rising event at IMA and learned about what was going on at Change Clothes and this incredible movement that started in a small space and now has grown to this bigger, more expansive space with lots more activity going on. So it's been really incredible to watch the growth over the last several years, and did a bit of volunteering and a bit of swapping over the last couple of years, and just have really enjoyed what's going on here, and it ties really closely to what I'm studying. I'm doing a master's in circular textiles at NCAD, and so this gives me a really incredible opportunity to be really hands-on in the field that I'm pursuing, in a really wonderful environment with some great people. When the move was
I think one of the perspectives that I have that may feel a bit, I guess, contentious is that I recommend that every person that wants to study fashion or is studying fashion to volunteer at a thrift store for a week or two, just because it gives you an idea of how much people are bringing in through donations, and I feel like that can be super eye-opening, and I can really put into perspective like how much is being just constantly getting rid of in our local community. Like in every thrift store that I have volunteered at, I have just been so surprised at the influx of all the freaking things all the time. It's like never ending. I always say this, but like every time I worked at the thrift store, right? Like every time, let me do full cam. Every time I was at the thrift store that I worked at in Montana, I had this idealism that somehow one day, like, the donations would stop coming, that one day we would finally just only buy secondhand. But that day never came. We constantly just had donations and donations and donations and donations and donations relentlessly coming in, and I was like, my goodness, it's just never ending. So I think it's just a good thing for like fashion students and like anyone to volunteer. It's just good to volunteer there and get a better scope of what is happening, because dude, when I was new to thrift stores, I literally was so surprised. I was so surprised. I'm like, I just cannot comprehend how it could not stop. And it has not stopped. But I'm hopeful that just by like volunteering, we can just become better, like more informed consumers and designers and fashionistas. So definitely do recommend it. I do recommend volunteering at a thrift store for like a couple weeks. I do.
What's happening to the bigger space? I had some availability in my schedule over the summer to help and come in, volunteer, and get some things moved over, and that move was happening, and spent a good bit of time here with the team, and there was an opportunity. They were looking for a weekend swap manager. role fit really well with my interest and my schedule and my my capacity right now at the moment, being a master's student, and just the schedule works out really beautifully. And so applied for the role, and here I am. So fun about when the volunteers come in is that oftentimes, you know, we have people who come in nearly every week to volunteer, once a month or something like that. And so for them to come in and see what's new and what's going on, and to be able to just spend a nice kind of relaxing but full time in the swap here, and get things onto hangers and help people find things and keep things tidy so that it's a really appealing.
The work is so meticulous at a thrift store. You would think, oh, it's just putting stuff on a hanger and putting a price on it. There is so much more. There is literally so much more, and it literally takes so many volunteers. And for a small thrift store to be able to effectively operate, they do rely on volunteers very heavily. If they didn't, they wouldn't make as much money, or they wouldn't be able to run the programs that they have that benefits charity or benefits the local community. So if you ever want to get some work experience and have never had a job, I definitely recommend volunteering at a thrift store as well, because that's what I would tell everybody. Oh, you don't have experience? Go to your local thrift store and volunteer. It's a good start, and get something on your resume. And they're always looking for people. They're always looking for people.
And enjoyable place for swappers to spend time. There's a few other moving pieces in the background. We have swap kits going out and people dropping things off and collecting things, and so I get to see a bit more of what the rest of the organization is doing at the same time as being in during our open hours and when the volunteers are in. This would be kind of the primary difference. There's a few other things you're paying attention to at the same time as being here in the swap. A mother and child come in recently. I was celebrating a birthday, I think kind of into a preteen birthday, and was going to be going to a Comic-Con event for the first time. Really excited to find some bits for the costuming, and it was the first time they'd been into the swap, and between the swap and the scrap store we're able to find some really
I've never been to a convention before. I wonder what I would wear for a Comic-Con, because I feel like you would have to know some sort of like comic character of some sort, and for thrift stores that can be quite a difficult task to ask for a store to fill, because you never know what you're gonna find in a thrift store. You never know what's gonna be in there. You never know what you're gonna find. So if you have something specific in your head and you're like, okay, I want to wear this purple top with these jeans and I want to find them today in my local shop, that's gonna be a hard ask. If you find it, it feels like a miracle. It feels like you had the most amazing day. But you can never really predict what you're gonna find. And when I used to work at the thrift store, at the said beautiful thrift store in Montana, people would come in being like, oh, where's the blue sweaters with these certain details? And I would help them look for it, and they would get so disappointed that there was nothing that they were looking for. But that's just kind of what you have to face when you buy secondhand. There's no like standardization. There's no way to look it up online. There's no way to guarantee anything when you step into a thrift store. A lot of people just kind of go in to just look to see generally what's there, and if they like something or it kind of fits a need in their life, they buy it. It can lead to overconsumption because of that very reason, because you're just kind of going in blind. But sometimes you find really amazing, unique pieces that you can never have imagined or ever thought to have, and you're like, oh my god, I can't live without this. Like the sparkly shoes with the right sort of buckle that matches the shirt that you have in your closet. So that's the beauty and the curse of thrift stores. But as a volunteer and worker at a thrift store, and people come in with very specific asks and are very emotional about it, that's like the worst nightmare ever. Like that's the worst possible thing to have from a person, because most likely you're going to disappoint them by helping them. I'm sorry, there's not a specific purple sweater for you today that you just had to have today of all times for that specific thing. That's why I love Depop. I'm like, Depop, you can search anything and most likely you'll be able to find it, because there's sellers from everywhere trying to make money on there, and they're always uploading stuff. So if you can't find it in the local thrift store, then go on Depop. Most likely it's going to be there.
Perfect fits for the vision of this costume, and just to see this young person experience it for the first time with a parent, and just the joy and excitement that they were able to experience in this space was really a special recent memory.
McCabe, and I am one of the volunteers here at Change Clothes. I have been a customer as well as a donator and also a crafter. Facebook, when Mary first started out, she used to have a little swap in one of the community halls, and then when I seen the amount of clothes that were coming in, it was just an amazing opportunity. I started volunteering to also get to know how the ethics of, you know, recycling clothes and swapping starts, because you see on the internet, and then also to be a part of this amazing community and really powerful women businesses, and also making stuff and self-making themselves. Reactions from customers who have come in and actually realise that there is always something here for them. People come in for weddings and just we're going to shop for somebody else, even with numerous outfits for themselves to try, which they would never even considered.
Future for Change Clothes seems massive. We're always looking at bigger premises because, as you can see here, I mean, you know, we need a lot of storage space, and our team is always growing. And we want to have a big warehouse in the Dublin area where all kinds of clothing reuse are happening. So no matter what state your clothes are in, you'll be able to come in and find a reuse for it. But it's also a great community space where you can just drop in, say hello, and learn more about textile reuse.
Community, collaboration.
Coven.
Mehel.
Is home.
Okay. That is amazing to see, and I think it's really exciting that they're taking the time and the willingness to address the floods of textiles, the floods of things that are constantly circulating in our earth, and doing something that really impacts the well-being of people around them and also for themselves, because they just listed what it meant to them at the end, and that was just so wholesome. It was so freaking wholesome, and I love that for them, and it feels like such a special place for them. So I am taking notes. I truly am taking notes. But I do want to go forward and talk about this. So I don't know if you guys know about the Illinois Vintage Fest, but oh my gosh, I almost freaking swallowed my own breath. But the Illinois Vintage Fest, oh my god, guys, the air is so freaking humid. Illinois Vintage Fest. That is happening July 18th. I was thinking about vlogging this. It is next month, but if you're not in Illinois, basically Illinois Vintage Fest is like the thing to go to if you love fashion. There's been other events happening, but what makes this one special is that it's in Navy Pier, and this would be such a freaking movie if I make like a video about it or even stream it. I've been like tantalizing the idea of an IRL stream. I've been talking a lot about how I want to do a million different things, but like this one is like low-key one I would want to do, but it just kind of depends on if I get a job or not, because I need a cell phone plan for the third phone that I have. But let's explore Illinois Vintage Fest. So they have a website. Where is it? Where's the freaking... They do have a website. Surely it's not just a Facebook thing. Okay, let's look at their Instagram. Surely they're not just on Facebook. Okay, so the last event they had was... There was a famous influencer that went to one of their events. I think this was this? Yeah. Yeah. They had this nearby. I was gonna go, and I completely spaced on it. At the Lake County Fairgrounds at, what was it? Graves Lake, Illinois. I also went to an Illinois Vintage Fest like last year, and it was so fun, and I vlogged it. I literally vlogged everything, and then I lost all the footage. So I'm kind of salty about that. But they're also having another event on June 27th, but it's Tennessee Vintage Fest. So they're expanding. They're freaking expanding everywhere. But when it comes to Vintage Fests, these are locations where you buy things secondhand, but things are so marked up. Like a pair of jeans will probably cost you like $50. Sweaters will be like $30. Shirts would be like $25. It's really freaking expensive. But these are like the items that you can find at a local thrift store. It's just we've kind of like termed it vintage, even though it's like things that we can find at any thrift store. We can take a look at this for an example of like what you would find, but I think it would be really beneficial for them to really define what vintage means, Because why the discrepancy? Like, what makes one shirt like $60 at this fest while it can be just like $5 at a normal thrift store? Maybe it's because it was cleaned, maybe because there's a special design, but I feel like we do need a lot more distinction between vintage and secondhand, because a lot of the items that they have priced really high are not worth the price, in my own personal opinion. But it's just labeled vintage, and that's how they mark it up. But let's take a look at this.
Is hosting the biggest vintage event of the summer at the Lake County.
Holy shadoodles, I just killed your ears. My bad. Okay, let's try that again.
Fairgrounds in Grayslake, Illinois on June 6th and 7th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. both days. This is going to be your chance to find some rare and unique items for the summer and some cool jewelry, collectibles, gems, and more. There will be an entire warehouse for you to shop, and this is an all ages event which is family friendly, and as always, entry is free. Get your free weekly updates for events like this by tapping into my link in bio. Check them out and follow for more.
There was plushies. Those kind of looked vintage. I am curious how they're freaking defining vintage, but I think I'll go just to kind of like explore the vibes and see what they're up to. But like, oh sure, it's gonna cost $50 easy. Oh, they have Whatnot seller referral link, Whatnot $15 buying credit. Oh, Illinois vintage Navy Pier vendor application. Okay, so let's say I want to be a vendor. How much would that cost? $625 for the weekend for vendors selling primarily clothing. $550 for the weekend for vendors selling non-clothing. Holy. Do you think I'm going to make more or break even? Oh, goodness. Well, if it's Navy Pier, yeah, no? There will be a Friday and Saturday morning setup. Must arrive on time? Dude, I don't even have $600. It's so expensive being a vendor in this fest. So I'm kind of like iced out of participating as a vendor, even though I have a lot of clothing to resell on Depop. But, oh, you know what would be so fun if we watched a video about this? I wonder if my past video on it will pop up, because I think I did a video on this. Wait, let's see what pops up. Illinois Vintage Fest. Oh, 7 months ago, a mall of vintage. They've been at it. Oh, they were on the news? Okay, let's watch this.
I can't help but feel like I owe every.
Freaking commercials, bruh. Freaking commercials. I need an ad blocker so bad. I've been saying this ever since I started streaming. Okay.
Illinois Vintage Fest brought dozens of Midwest vendors together this weekend for retro fashion and unique finds at the Embassy Suites in East Peoria. The traveling festival features anywhere from 40 to 80 vendors, each operating their own small business and offering everything from vintage clothing to unique home decor. Organizers say they prioritize local vendors, but also welcome sellers from across the Midwest, including Wisconsin and Missouri. The market makes stops in college towns throughout the region, including Bloomington Normal on the campus of Illinois State University, as well as other cities across the Midwest. Shoppers could expect a wide range of styles, from early 2000s trends all the way to pieces from the 50s and 60s.
You're not just going to a big box store and just getting something that was made overseas and just shipped over here, you know, quote unquote fast fashion. That's a really big thing, and I think you're going to find a lot of pieces of clothing or items like home decor that you're not going to find anywhere else.
The Illinois Vintage Fest will be in Cedar Falls, Iowa next weekend.
Cedar Falls, Iowa. That's so cool. Okay. I think the person that runs it actually has a local thrift store in my area. What if I'm like, hey, can you give me a discount on that 600 buckos? First Market of 2026 Illinois Vintage Fest handmade jewelry, beaded flower bouquet, small business. Wait, I kind of like her vibe already. 14,000 subscribers. Wait a minute. She seems fun. I need to know how to make thumbnails like this. Oh, she's in Michigan. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. I will sub. Okay. $100 got me all this shit, or all this at Illinois Vintage Fest. I did not read that right. I think this is him. I think he's the founder.
On March 23rd in the town of Wheaton, Illinois Vintage Fest held its 19th festival in the DuPage County Fairgrounds. With over 50 plus vendors and hundreds attending, it begins to ask the question, what is Vintage Fest?
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Shane. I'm the owner of Illinois Vintage Fest.
Yeah, it is. Oh my freaking. Oh my goodness. He's the freaking owner. I've seen him at the bins. Guys, is that bad to admit on his part? I've seen him at the Goodwill bins. So like he be getting his vintage stuff from the Goodwill bins. I know the source of his deals.
City Vintage and Heyday Vintage Collective in Evanston. Illinois Vintage Fest is a collection of small businesses, not necessarily all vintage, but people who are small businesses looking to sell their stuff.
And with the rapid growth of vintage and thrifting attire, the word vintage can have a lot of different visions from many vendors.
I think vintage to me is giving older things a new meaning, giving them a new life. I really learned that people have basketballs in their garage, but now they're displayed on shelves, displayed in their living rooms, in their man caves, and giving them a really good meaning.
Vintage means nostalgia. It's like, how do you go back to what was once important and the best? So for me, I like seeing people shop around for the clothes because they're trying to find something that used to mean something to them or make themselves something. But for soap, it's like coming back to the good original ingredients that we used to use all the time.
Despite the blend of different visions, styles, and items available between all vendors, it seems that Vintage Fest in its core is made for the people.
A couple years ago, during high school actually too, me and my brother and dad used to go to thrift stores a lot. We used to just shop around there, be there for hours, looking for clothes, video games, anything that we can flip for a profit. So then when COVID happened actually is when we started doing Illinois Vintage Fest. So that's when it really started popping off. Everyone started getting into vintage, people started doing events. So our first Illinois Vintage Fest was actually when they started back in 2020. So we've been doing this for 4 or 5 years already, and it's growing and growing, and I don't think it's gonna stop anytime soon.
I lost my job during COVID and we didn't have anything to do. So we started selling old clothes all together in a collective space. Here we are, 19 big ones later.
As of the time of this recording, the next market will take place on April 6th at Urbana, Illinois at the UIUC campus. And from the looks of it, it certainly won't be the last.
Sebastian. I really liked how he asked them what vintage meant. As a vendor, it can be kind of tricky to answer because let's say you're making like homemade soaps. I was gonna say soups. Homemade soups of Sanrio. Oh my gosh. Homemade soups of Sanrio characters. I think it'd be hard to fit into like the vintage label. So yeah, it's very interesting how people kind of fit into the Vintage Fest. This was made 2 years ago. It's been happening for so long, and I've just been looking at it being like, should I go or not? But this one would be so fun. So freaking fun. And it's a free entrance as well. And I haven't been to the Navy Pier location in such a long time. I don't really go to the downtown area. I don't really explore that much anymore. I've just gone so many different times that I don't think it's worthwhile to go. But if I have the excuse of making content or like it's aka work or I'll stream it, hopefully by the upcoming month I can have the stream thing happen. I think that would just be so refreshing for myself and for like everyone else that are watching. And the hours are super long from like 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, I believe. I missed the Navy Pier. I should go. I shall go. What's Oh, this was this weekend. Grayslake, Illinois. You just need to have a budget. You need like 100 buckos. There was another vlog too I wanted to watch. This is a very chill stream, guys. It's not usually this chill. Okay, what's this one? Oh my freaking goodness. Hello? Hello? Commercial's gone. Oh, there's 2 commercials?
Alright, today I am out in Hoffman Estates to check out Illinois Vintage Fest. Never been to this location, so I'll see how this thing goes. But I know there's a lot of clothes here, but looking for
Wait, this kind of feels like a stream.
something that is not clothes. Cool. Alright, so the music's blasting already. So this is like an office.
I don't think I can watch this video. He has like a frat boy energy. You know, some things can they don't have to be watched, you know.
Suites or suits. But it looks
What is happening with him? Did he just confuse sweets? Okay, we probably shouldn't be making fun of him because I also don't know how to talk a lot of the times, but what happened? He glitched out for a second.
like a mall. I mean, this is
Oh, he just didn't know what he was looking at. I think it is a mall. It's just it has a different structure to it.
some setup here.
I don't think I can do this. I've been trying to be nice. Okay. Lock in. We'll be nice.
This is really nice. Man, I don't even know how far this goes, but there's a lot of, seems like there's gonna be a lot of stuff in here.
You know, watching people's videos kind of makes me really happy that there's good YouTubers. I don't really want to watch this, to be totally honest with you. Okay, so I think I want to make it a goal to go to the freaking Illinois Vintage Fest. That will be coming up, so look forward to that. I do think I have a really strong strength in like vlogs when it comes to like videos. I do struggle with like sitting down and like doing the informative videos that I used to do, so I think this will be something that I think will be worthwhile to do. But we should watch this. So the art of textile recycling. I did want to cover this last week and I never got to it. It is in Spanish, so if you don't know how to speak Spanish, well, you're kind of screwed right now. But I'm gonna take a listen to this video. We should kind of learn about textile recycling, and then we can go.
Los tejidos finales se distribuyen también.
Whoa, that played out of nowhere. And I do think this is going to be a shorter stream. I think I'm going to jump off in like 20 minutes or like 30 minutes. But yeah, this is in Spanish, guys. I'm Mexican American. So please expect some Spanish content from me.
Plástico y reemplazarlo por cartón. Dejar de comprar comida chatarra y alimentarnos con productos regionales, orgánicos y de estación. Pero hay algo que difícilmente podremos dejar. Es de vestirnos y como sabemos la industria textil es una de las más contaminantes y la demanda de prendas baratas no para de crecer.
¿Cómo frenar entonces la contaminación textil? Ideas y proyectos en marcha no faltan. Desde el hilado a base de prendas usadas hasta el reciclaje de mantas familiares y la fabricación de toallas sin tintes ni poliéster. Todo eso y más en nuestra edición de hoy, aquí en Eco Latinoamérica. Bienvenidos. Ecolana. En un taller de Bolivia, las viejas prendas se convierten en materia prima para elaborar nuevos productos textiles. Reciclaje emocional. Un proyecto en Buenos Aires rescata las antiguas mantas y textiles familiares y las convierte en abrigos únicos. Desierto vestido. La ONG que promueve el reciclaje en uno de los mayores vertederos textiles del mundo, al norte de Chile.
Según la ONU, la industria textil es responsable de un 20% de la contaminación mundial de agua potable. Por ejemplo, para fabricar un pantalón de jeans se utilizan unos 3.800 litros de agua y se generan casi 34 kilogramos de emisiones de CO2. Y otro tema son los desechos textiles. Se calcula que el 73% de las prendas de fast fashion termina en vertederos.
En Bolivia, una empresa se ha propuesto reducir el impacto negativo de la industria de la moda con un emprendimiento de economía circular. Recolectan prendas desechadas que luego ellos mismos procesan para convertirlas en fibra de lana, la materia prima de nuevas prendas.
Entre el sonido de las máquinas y montañas de materia prima comienza un proceso de reciclaje para emprender una nueva vida. En retales de entre 2 y 4 centímetros, los textiles desechados se transformarán en lana ecológica. Y aquí está el origen del material primario. En el taller, las recicladoras textiles clasifican por textura y color las prendas que antes han recogido de los vertederos.
Lana se convierte en la ropa que recogemos, que traemos. No es ningún es un sacrificio, pero también vale la pena.
También estas falditas que son de paños de bebé también nos sirve. Esto sirve también para la reutilización. Los jeans también es una materia prima la que nos sirve para que la empresa lo pueda transformar.
The euphoria that I feel when I open up those bags and I try to figure out what's in them is unmatched. Like, I always like to say, how do I describe this without sounding weird? There's just like a sense of euphoria when I like look through donations. It's like the craziest thing for my head. It's like the ultimate sense of dopamine. For others, it's like, oh my god, there's so much trash and like this is so random and like this is so boring and what are we doing with our time or whatever. But like this is euphoria. Just looking through every single option in those bags and seeing like how to cut it up or how to transform it or how to just rehome it. It's literally what brings me dopamine. I wonder how they feel or what they think about given the situations in the fashion industry. Like, do they do this because they have to, because they enjoy it, or because they're concerned? She's kind of going over the issues, but like it's so fascinating how people kind of like fit themselves in the world and like how they kind of grapple with the jobs that they have. So interesting, because I would be so freaking happy to be doing this.
En un producto nuevo.
Bolivia enfrenta una doble problemática, la contaminación textil y el contrabando de ropa usada. Los dueños del emprendimiento encontraron una vía movidos por la inquietud de qué hacer con las prendas usadas que ya no son aptas para donar.
Tomé en contacto con Textiles Copacabana, me reuní con ellos y les dije qué posibilidades hay de hacer un hilado de esta ropa en desuso. Encontraron la mezcla perfecta para convertir la primera lana en Bolivia hecha en ropa en desuso.
Útil para crear moda sostenible y evitar que las prendas terminen en los vertederos.
Para hacer ecolana podemos usar chompas, poleras, pullovers, pantalones, jeans, camisas, medias, todo lo que sea textil.
Esta máquina, controlada por los operarios, trabaja con precisión. Las cuchillas afiladas y giratorias separan tejidos, descomponiendo las prendas en fibras sueltas para ser reutilizadas.
Aquí tenemos residuos de todas las telas, ¿no? Tenemos aquí algodón, poliéster, acrílico, nylon, donde vamos cortándolo en pequeños trozos para que pase el proceso de desfibrilado, ¿no?
Después de romper la estructura original, la masa textil se limpia mediante un sistema de recirculación que permite reutilizar el agua y reducir el consumo hídrico. Luego pasa por una máquina llamada cardadora, que organiza las fibras en capas uniformes para mejorar la consistencia y la textura del material. No se aplica ningún proceso de teñido, así que se evita liberar sustancias químicas.
No usamos ningún colorante, ya que la línea de color es eso, ¿no? Lo separamos todo por color, ¿no? Separamos color, ya sea amarillo, ya sea verde o rosado. En realidad tenemos como 10 colores lo que es ecolana, y una característica es importante de ecolana es que este hilado no se va a ver en otra prenda. Son hilados que no se pueden repetir por el tema de la mezcla que tiene, ¿no? Si tú haces una prenda de esto, no te vas a chocar en la calle con otra persona. Igual.
At apartments.com, we go.
So if you don't know how to speak Spanish and you're just kind of like vibing here, basically they're saying they cut up all the fabrics and then they do a certain mix of the fabrics and it creates a certain color, and then they weave that, or like they spin it to become a certain color for knitting, like the knitting thing. What's it called? Knitting thread. Oh my goodness. And he was saying like that can't be replicated because every mix is unique. So there is a lot of variety, a lot of different colors, a lot of different variations that can come out of that, and it can be hard to sell that to consumers or sell that in mass quantities because every freaking unit is different. But I think that's like what's great about this. Everything is unique, but we're so used to standardization. We're so used to, okay, like Shein is gonna make this design and now there's like 500 options of it, but that's just a product of these major brands being able to replicate things so many freaking times at such a fast pace. I think it's actually more normal to have imperfectly made items because a lot of humans are not expert sewers, and every time like we go to tie-dye a shirt, it's all different. So like why would it be different for a brand that's trying to do this with local, you know, products or local workers? And then with dead stock material, again, it's like the same sort of thing of DIY. Nothing is going to be standardized. Like nothing can be freaking copy and paste, especially when every bundle is different. I think I already made my point, but I don't know why we need so much standardization and copy and paste of production. We've been freaking brainwashed to think everything should come in 100,000 units and all look the same. Why? I don't want to look like Mr. Joe from that one street down the corner. I don't want to look like him. I don't want to wear that brand that everyone else is wearing. I don't want to look like them. Where's the volume at?
Estar sucia o estropeada, pero se olvida el potencial transformador del reciclaje.
Es un producto que es no tan convencional, porque en el mundo la gente está acostumbrada a usar materia prima de virgen. El colán es un producto que es fuera de lo común, y muchas empresas ahora en Bolivia han optado por usar nuestro producto porque ven que es un producto que les ayuda a bajar su huella de carbono, ¿no?
Según la ONU y la Fundación Ellen MacArthur, la industria textil es responsable de un 20% de la contaminación mundial de agua potable y un 73% de las prendas fast fashion termina en vertederos. El desafío es cambiar la forma de consumir.
Hay 3 preguntas que deberíamos hacernos todos los días. ¿Realmente necesito comprar esa prenda? La segunda pregunta es, ¿lo puedo encontrar en un mercado de segunda mano y así disminuir mi huella? Y la tercera es si nos hemos puesto a pensar en la huella que cada uno deja en este planeta. Puede haber gente que te diga, yo no uso plástico, yo no uso cartón, pero nadie te va a decir, yo no uso ropa. Entonces este problema es tan cotidiano, pero no lo vemos así.
Por ejemplo, para fabricar un pantalón de jean se utilizan unos 3.781 litros de agua y se generan 33,4 kilogramos de emisiones de CO2 en el proceso.
You know what this is making me realize? This is making me realize that I just want to go to Mexico. I was watching a Quackity stream the other day. Oh my gosh. He was having so much fun. I think he was in Michoacan or something. I don't remember where he was at. But he did a Mexico stream. And oh my goodness. I just want to go chill out with some food, explore the freaking towns. Like literally Mexico is real. It's out there right now. And I am not there. I am not there. And that's like the cruelest thing in my head right now. Everyone is just living it up in Mexico, and I'm freaking here, streaming. Honestly, I feel like going to Mexico would heal me. It would be like the ultimate thing that would bring me back to life. I'm just tired of working and working and working and working and feeling like I'm just carrying the freaking rock up the hill constantly. I just need a refresh. I need a reboot. Gotta reboot the computer somehow. Spanish, man. Spanish language, Mexico, adventure time. Maybe within a couple months, maybe if I grind for the next 6 months, I'll finally have savings. I'll have Depop going. I'll be better with my content, and then I can actually start planning for a freaking vacation in Mexico. Wait, in 6 months, where are we gonna be at? In 6 months, we're in June, right? June, July, August, September, October, November. It's gonna be November. Holy. Okay, and then December is Christmas. Maybe I can plan something for December. Interesting. What will I do in December? Go to Mexico in December? I've never been to Mexico in December. That'd be crazy. If I really, really try a lot on Depop, I can make it happen. Interesting, interesting. Thinking about it, thinking about it.
Transporte que sufre, viaja desde Europa, sin importar el medio por el que viaja, se genera una huella, ¿no? De CO2, una huella ambiental, porque tienes que las transportan por barco, por avión, por carreteras, por camiones, y finalmente hasta para llegar a tu casa hay todo un recorrido.
Ecolana, además de reducir la huella de carbono de la industria textil, promueve la economía circular, desde la recolección y procesamiento hasta la confección.
Y así también tenemos una economía circular. La empresa crece, nos da trabajo, podemos sustentar a nuestras familias, hacer estudiar a nuestros hijos.
You know what would be a movie now that I think about it? Okay. I keep watching streamers and I keep copying what they say. I literally went to go do yoga on Saturday and I was like, oh my god, this is a movie. And my friends were like, what did she just say? Like, what movie? I'm like, oh wait, never mind. But yeah, I should stop saying that because they don't understand the context. But oh, in December, if I go to Mexico, I would love to learn about like artisanal work in León, Mexico, which is like the major city near where my mom was raised. I just need to do research on local fashion designers and local like leather producers. That would be so much fun to like explore, and I would want to take my mom with me. But again, that's a long-term goal. But when I was really struggling with what I was going through in my time at Montana, I pushed everyone to take a Mexico trip, and it was like the best thing ever. I literally made so many life decisions in Mexico. En mi Mexico querido. And I was just sitting on a rooftop in my aunt's house, looking over the village, or town, whatever you want to call it. And it like brought so much what do I call it, revelations. I became aware of what I wanted and what I wanted to do and the next steps for the next years in my life. So I shall remember that Mexico helped. Maybe in 6 months. In 6 months I'll have all the answers to all my life. But yeah, artisanal work, man, it's so freaking beautiful.
Ese es el trabajo que hacemos.
Los que vivimos en este planeta deberíamos reciclar todo, ya saber cuál ya no se debe utilizar, cuál se debe utilizar, cuál es más contaminante. Eso también debería saber la humanidad.
La aplicación Solía Ser complementa el trabajo de las recicladoras de manera digital y facilita la donación particular de ropa.
La descripción, digamos, son 4 saquillos, confirmar, y al celular de Colana directamente le llega un mensaje: Tana quiere donar 4 saquillos, y ya coordinas para que te lo lleven o recojas.
I'm seeing chocolate.
What is this commercial? I already feel so much better listening to things in Spanish. F you if you don't know Spanish and are just vibing out. Actually, I'm not gonna F you out. I'm gonna say I love you for being here because you are the amazingest and the bestest for listening to something you don't even know what's happening and you're just kind of vibing, and I thank you for it. I just cursed you out, but that's just how I am. Thank you so much. You know what? It's so bad that everyone in my family is so nice to me because I'd be saying the most random thing and the meanest thing and they're like, what? They don't even react. No one reacts. Like, I'm so impulsive and so weird with them, and then they're like, did you drink like 2 coffees? Or like, they just ask me what's happening. They don't even get mad, and I push their buttons and they don't react. I'd be manipulating the situation. They're like, you should probably not have drunk that coffee. They're all so freaking responsible and grounded as people. Like, my brothers are Virgos and my parents are like My dad's a Leo, my mom's a Scorpio. They're both really intense characters, but they're not weird. They're not like spontaneous, if that makes sense. So they just look at me, they're like, oh, okay, she's kind of off on her rocker right now, but they don't like stop me. It's so interesting. So they're kind of used to me cursing them out. Okay, I should not have admitted that. But I do apologize. I do apologize. I have self-awareness, okay? I'm blaming my red flags on them. Because why are they so chill like that? Where's the volume at? I'm changing the topic.
Final en la transformación de la ropa desechada en lana ecológica. Este ajuste permite crear productos con mayor resistencia y prendas más duraderas.
Al ser un producto que tiene varios tipos de fibra, tiene varias cualidades. Como tiene algodón, tiene que ser fresco, porque este producto se puede hacer chompa, se puede hacer manta, se puede hacer frazada, se puede hacer todo lo que el confeccionista, el tejedor quiera hacerlo, ¿no?
Y así es el hilado final de la lana ecológica, lista para dar vida a nuevas prendas comprometidas con el bienestar del planeta.
¿Escuchaste hablar del reciclaje emocional? En la ciudad de Buenos Aires, 2 diseñadoras de moda recuperan frazadas antiguas. Esas mantas de abrigo que cubrían las camas de nuestros abuelos y abuelas, padres y madres, para transformarlas en chaquetas y tapados únicos. En el barrio porteño de Chacarita funciona el taller.
He has the most amazing Spanish accent. En el barrio porteño de Chacarita. I don't know how to have a Spanish accent. En el barrio, wait.
Donde las viejas
¿Dónde? Las viejas
cobijas se transforman en prendas de...
Se transforman en prendas. Bro, I need to know how to be a Spaniard so I can like embody my inner colonizer. Because I do be having that Spain blood. En prendas.
de diseño que rescatan memorias familiares. Un singular espacio donde confluyen la moda, el medio ambiente y el reciclaje emocional.
Transformar los recuerdos en abrigos únicos. Reciclaje emocional para el corazón y por la economía circular, evitando desechos textiles. Esa es la propuesta de estas dos diseñadoras de moda.
Lo que proponemos en el taller es que traigas tu frazada y con tu frazada haces tu lindor.
Trajes tu forzada y con tu frazada haces tu lindor. Wow.
Vemos el paso a paso de cómo trabajar con la frazada para llevarte una prenda. Puede ser un tapado corto o un tapado largo.
Viene gente, trae sus frazadas y entonces le mostramos cómo nosotros las cortamos para que sí, cada uno se lo pueda hacer en su casa. Porque no necesitamos máquinas, necesitamos una tijera y hilo y aguja.
Con mantas propias o elegidas entre las que ofrece el taller, las participantes quieren hoy hacer del reciclado un arte y de los recuerdos un abrigo.
Okay, to quickly interject, I often really feel dumb caring about this topic and streaming. I'm like, oh my god, only 3 people are watching, or oh my god, I only got 50 views on this freaking video. But if you think about it, there's just so many people that care about this topic, and they're often operating in informal circles where they're like going to sewing circles or going to DIY little workshops or going to clothing swaps, and we just have to like find all those little niche groups and kind of put them in my little corner. But everyone is kind of like struggling or hoping to find this sort of community, because like right now what we have is like late stage capitalism. We have malls, we have the standardized ways of shopping, you know, like going to the freaking plaza and buying from major brands that we are all familiar with. So I think it's just good to remember that there's a lot of people in their own corners making a positive impact on each other, like their friends and their family. And it's normal to like feel like this is an underground thing, because what we have in our mass society is just the direct opposite. And we're really not seeing clothing swaps be promoted in fashion magazines or in fashion shows or in major conversations in fashion in general. So I think I think what we're doing is like the start of a new beginning and the start of a new fashion industry in general. So we're setting the precedent. Like anyone that cares about this, anyone that's doing anything is setting the precedent, not like the president of the United States, but like President, president, to the change that we want. Is just, my goodness, we really have to freaking scavenge to find the people that care about this too. It feels so niche, but it shouldn't be niche. It should be a normal thing that we all care about, you know? We should all care about the art of textile recycling. Honestly, I'm really surprised that anyone freaking shows up to like what I do, because the things that I talk about, like only a certain percentage of streamers and like chatters would want to like even touch. So anyways, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful today. I don't know why this moment at the door made me realize that. I guess opening doors is metaphorical in my head somehow. Let's continue watching.
Esta es una frazada que viene en la familia, que estaba guardada en un placar desde hace un montón de tiempo y quería conocer, pasar por la experiencia de trabajar con ellas y bueno, de hacer.
You know what this is making me realize? There is so many bored grandmas that would be my best friend if I reached out to them. Because that's mainly their hobbies, sewing and knitting and embroidery. They be grandmaing it up. Yep, grandmaing it up. That's what grandmas do, no? Knitting and sewing and embroidery. I think I'm just a grandma. I need to go to a retirement home ASAP. Get myself my new best friends.
Hacer con mi frazada mi propio abrigo.
A mí me encanta el proyecto y esto de reciclar prendas que para algunas personas pueden tener alguna, qué sé yo, algo sentimental, un recuerdo. En mi caso, acá me la facilitaron la frazada las chicas.
En 2021, Leonor y Lourdes convirtieron su primera frazada en lindor. Desde entonces, su marca de abrigos confeccionados enteramente a mano lleva el valor de la sustentabilidad.
Tiene que ver con esto de recuperar, reciclar, reutilizar, con poder hacer con lo que tenés a mano. Cuando uno hace algo con sus propias manos es diferente, es como la comida, sabe distinto.
Me parece divino reciclar la frazada y me encanta la prenda, parece como muy original.
No solo buscan reducir el residuo textil, uno de los más contaminantes del planeta, sino que resignifican un objeto de valor sentimental que muchas veces termina olvidado en un baúl.
Creo que es el alma del proyecto, porque no es solo el reciclaje, sino que también eso apela a la memoria emotiva de un modo como profundo y lindo, ¿no?
Lo que pasa con las frazadas es que a todos los conecta con alguna memoria. En general es un recuerdo cálido, amoroso. Las frazadas son objetos de apego.
Así es que Carolina, una de las participantes, decidió desempolvar una frazada detrás de la cual hay mucho más que tejidos.
Esta frazada era de mi papá. Mi papá se murió en el año 88, así que hace muchísimos años que la tengo guardada. Y bueno, se dio que hoy podía hacer este curso para transformar la frazada de mi papá en un abrigo. Así que para que me siga apachachando. Mantenerlo a él cerca mío, en la frazada. Espero que quede linda.
Tal vez es la frazada que estaba en la cama, pero ahora la vas a tener puesta y con eso vas a poder salir a la calle. Y la sensación es muy bonita. Es como salir con la casita a cuestas.
Este taller de pago, convocado a través de las redes sociales, es una de las líneas de un modelo de negocio que busca sostenerse en el tiempo sin dejar a nadie fuera de la posibilidad de confeccionar su propio.
Guys, I know you guys are watching this and are like, wow, this is amazing, but you probably don't understand what it's being said. It's freaking mind-blowing to me that there's people watching this and they don't even understand what's happening. They don't know the language. So I'm gonna move on. I think it's amazing. The art of textile recycling, man, I freaking love this so freaking much. I want to like share this with you guys so much in the future in my streams. Like imagine if I have my own studio, we're making stuff, we have clothing swaps, we're like designing things in real time. Like this is a stream. Imagine this being a stream that we can watch. Or you can watch, and I'm in it. You can be in it too if you're in Chicago or in the city that I end up moving to. But this would be a freaking movie. This would be a beautiful little stream where we make stuff. That would be so much fun to watch. I'd stay watching for like 5 hours, to be totally honest. I was struggling to think what is entertainment as a fashion streamer. This literally would captivate me. If I could watch this, if I could tap in like for hours and hours and hours watching this. This would give me the most amount of satisfaction to jump in and watch. So I want to do the things that make me happy, and then I have to stop like doubting it would make others happy. But yeah, I'm getting a better idea of like what I want to do with streams and how to be entertaining. I've been overthinking it a lot. Yesterday I was like, okay, like what do I do? And I kept thinking about it overnight, and I'm like, okay, if I enjoy something, most likely the people jumping on my streams will enjoy it. So there's so many freaking ideas coming. I just unfortunately don't have a studio. That is a goal, but you know, we kind of have goals for a reason. We will reach them eventually, you know. But I do want to talk about something super interesting. So there's a new program that I noticed. It's called Voice of Change by Goodwill. I am not the most confident proponent of Goodwill. And by confident, I mean I'm kind of iffy about it because they're connected to Goodwill, and Goodwill is a major corporation, and I don't really like supporting corporations. But they're trying to be an example of change for the secondhand market, and it's good that they're giving opportunities for influencers, especially in the Chicago and Milwaukee area, to like feel like they're part of something. So let's look this up. Okay, it's not popping up. I had the Instagram post, but what happened to it, I don't freaking know. Let me find it. They also had a recently Goodwill had a Goodwill Creator Summit. Yeah. So we're gonna look at that as well. I need to freaking find a freaking article. Where's the you can't see what I'm looking at because I'm in my freaking DMs because I DM myself everything. Where is the freaking thingy-majigger? Where's the freaking post? Where's the 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 post at? Ooh. Has anyone seen Obsession, the movie? I've seen it all across my freaking TikTok, and I'm kind of freaked out about it. Where is it? Where are you? Dude, I was so prepared, and then it didn't work. Oh wait, I can kind of find it here. Oh, I found it. Okay, alright. So this is what I found. Be the voice of thrift. I'm gonna cover this. Okay. Be the voice of thrift. So it says, are you a creator who lives for the hunt, loves your community, and can't resist a good thrift find? Says, Goodwill is looking for local creators to join our community collaborators, a creative crew spotlighting real people with style. So as a collaborator, you'll share your secondhand styles or DIYs, create one reel per month for 3 months, and earn a $50 monthly stipend. So if you care about sustainability, you care about making content, would you apply to this? I feel like it would be really tempting for like up and coming creators. I personally will not be applying to this, and I don't think I'll ever want to be sponsored or work directly with Goodwill, to be totally honest with you. But in some weird way, maybe it's like loving the toxic parent in the room, but I'm like, maybe it's good that they're trying to like get people to talk about secondhand style and talk about DIY and pay them in the process. Like, how often will you be paid to talk about this online? You know, especially as a micro influencer. And so, for example, there's this girl that commented. She goes by MS Wendy B Thrifting. She says, I am ready, Goodwill, to collaborate with you. I love thrifting and showing my finds to encourage others to thrift. And this is her account. She has 300 followers. Not judging her necessarily, but it does give creators that are up and coming a platform and a mission that is widely recognized. Like, we all know what Goodwill is. So she's also interested. She's based in Chicago. Again, I'm not necessarily going to be supporting this. I just think it's worthwhile to have a conversation about it, because it is very much happening and people are going to be applying. People will be making those $50. But I just wish there was an ethical Goodwill. You know, the way that they accumulate so much money, and all the CEOs are so freaking rich, and then the board members are freaking rich. I think there's a lot of wealth. There's a lot of wealth gaps between the major people in charge and then how much associates earn. Okay, so let's look at this. It says Goodwill Creator Summit in Chicago. So this really grabbed my attention because it also harnessed the use of micro influencers. So this creator, Noemi, she is a designer, right? And she said, last week, I was grateful to have been invited to Goodwill Chicago's first Content Creator Summit. And I spent the day with other creators, thrift experts, and entrepreneurs of the area. During this event, creators of all backgrounds came together to learn how to grow. I've been feeling so inspired and excited to apply all of these new ideas throughout my own brand. So kind of interesting, maybe exciting for some people that care about thrifting, but well, let's watch the video before I make any more comments. I will give her some moments to show us what this Creator Summit is. Hello, Marissa. Welcome in.
Content Creator Summit, and this is everything that happened. It was a business professional event, so I wanted to be somewhat business casual. I wore my mom's vintage black dress, some Karl Lagerfeld white heels, and gold jewelry, and of course, I couldn't forget my personalized tote bag provided by Goodwill. I stopped at a nearby matcha spot for a strawberry matcha, and it was time to head in. They welcomed us with a delicious breakfast, and the day started with a blue carpet experience where I got to connect with other creators from different backgrounds and industries. There were a lot of panel talks, and we listened to many conversations about content creation, growing your platform, building partnerships, and creating community through storytelling. There was also a lot of collaborative content and idea building workshops where we also got a chance to preview 2026 Pinterest trends. One of my favorite parts was meeting people who are passionate about what they do and hearing about their journeys as content creators and entrepreneurs. After the summit, we headed to Goodwill for a curated group shopping experience where we had the chance to thrift and find unique pieces. As a designer, I love seeing the potential in garments and imagining how they can be transformed into something new. After the event, I left feeling inspired, grateful for the opportunity and the connections I made, and most of all, excited to bring these new ideas back to my own brand, Moda Libre. Thank you, Goodwill, for creating a space where creators can learn, connect, and grow together.
That's so wholesome. That's like a PR video. I just feel like the class gave her a straight A on the exam. Yep. Okay. Is there any... I saw more videos on this. I DM'd them to myself as well. Let me pull that away. But just to make it clear, I would not go to this. I would not support this. Just to make that very clear, okay? I think that's enough of a statement to let you guys know that I'm not in support of this. I did not support this. I'm just showing you guys what's going on. I do not like corporations.
Lista.
Shit. You can still see my background. What is this? Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I'm pulling it up. Where is it? I can't see anything. Give me 1 segundo. 1 segundo. You know what? Let's just go back to the page. And then... Okay, this is a video.
Lista.
Is it just me or I think your audio is pretty low? Is it better now? If I get closer to the mic? What do you mean low? Oh god. Is it better? Hello? Is this better? Hello? Dang it, not this again. Pretty low. Shit. Have I been streaming like this the whole time? on YouTube. Oh my goodness. I think it's just because I'm not close to the mic, no? How should do those? I think I was just too away from the mic. That's kind of embarrassing. Here, let me continue checking. Yeah, I think it's because I was far away from the mic. I think this is better. Hello, hello, ho. Testing, testing. Wait, no, actually. Oh my goodness. Wait, give me a second. Hello, hello. I think I'm connected to the mic now. Dude, have I just been streaming like this the whole time? I'm not connected to the mic. Wait, what is happening? Hello? Well, yeah, I am connected to the mic. Wait, give me a second. How close do I have to be to this mic? Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Ah! How do I fix this? I don't think my mic is working. What about if I go like this? Is this work? Do I go like this? Is this fine? Let me try. Hello, hello, hello. Wait, what the hell is happening? Hello? Oh my god, it worked. Dude, I think my mic is breaking. I need a new mic. Wait. What? What about if I go like this? Oh my god. I need a new mic. Dude, that was so embarrassing. How do you guys watch this? No, honestly, this mic is breaking. Cause what the hell is this? You know what? I got scammed. Okay, we're gonna continue. So we're gonna watch this creator. She went to the Goodwill Creator Summit in Chicago. And I was basically saying I wouldn't support going to this summit. I don't really support Goodwill in general. I do go to the bins to get the stuff that I sell on Depop, but I wouldn't necessarily want to be connected to them on a more explicit level. Let me check the audio one more time. Oh my god, the audio is so trash. Hello, hello. Dude, what? The stupid mic. Planned obsolescence. Alright, so let's listen to this video, okay? I'm just gonna stream like this for the next year. Like this. Just with the freaking mic all up in my mouth. Okay, let's watch this.
Goodwill me invitó a su primer summit. Conectamos con personas que les gusta comprar de segunda mano y también les gusta crear contenido con eso. ¿Sabías que la ropa es una de las cosas que más contaminan? Comprar de segunda mano no solo es ahorrar dinero, es darle una segunda vida a la ropa que ya existe. Ahora vamos a ir al Goodwill de aquí de Chicago. Lista.
Guys, it's Apple Crispy Audio. You're gonna really know how my voice sounds because I'm using this. Oh gosh. Okay, let me listen to myself one more time by using this mic like this. Is this fun? Okay, let me see. We're testing. Our YouTube hasn't caught up yet. There's like a major lag. There's like 20 seconds. Excuse me. Dude, I see streamers stream with the mic like this close to their mouth. I didn't know it was like a legit thing to like do this, but maybe this is good for your ears. It's Apple Crispy Audio. You're gonna really know how my voice sounds because I'm using this. Oh gosh. Okay, let me listen to myself one more time. Dude, the audio is so good. What if I do this every time? I just hold the mic like this. Holy shit doodles. It is feeling like a real podcast? No, like a real stream. Okay, so I didn't realize that there was this happening in Chicago, but it's so interesting how it's also connected to Milwaukee. So if you look at their Instagram page, this is for both Milwaukee and Chicago. And I don't know why I wasn't chosen. Why wasn't I chosen to go to this freaking event? You know, I think I talk about this topic. I think I'm too radical. I feel like my background kind of like doesn't allow me to be part of these things, and I have been adamant against major corporations, or maybe they don't know me, but either ways, it's just good to be aware of their initiatives to get creators out to support Goodwill. I wish I didn't have to support the Goodwill bins, but it's like the most affordable option to get clothing to then resell it on Depop so that I can make a profit to then fund my life and my streams. Let's watch a couple more of these videos, but they're not going to be that different. They're all very PR videos. Freaking PR videos. Guys, this is the best audio you guys have ever gotten for a freaking stream. It went from the worst audio to the best audio real quick. All because, Marissa, you were like, yeah, we can't freaking hear you. And you know what's so interesting? As soon as I got the good audio, I lost a viewer on Twitch. I'm so confused. Don't you guys like the good audio? Oh my goodness. Not me like hyper analyzing the viewership. I guess they didn't like the freaking good audio. But let's watch this other video. Dang, they had good food. That looks so freaking tasty. What about this one? Guys, I just remembered I have this really expensive microphone system that I've never used that costs like $100. So I legit have a real microphone and I continue to use this one that's really janky. So this is a sign that I have to improve my setup. I can hear myself in the audio. But yeah, that's so interesting to learn about. I think there's going to be a new wave of like quote unquote Goodwill ambassadors. Wait, was the videos muted this whole time? Holy shit, I'm messing up tech all the time. You guys didn't hear the video at all, did you guys? No. Okay, let's rewatch it and then we'll move on.
I spent my Saturday.
Holy shit, you guys didn't tell me there was no audio for these. Okay.
With 30 other creators who have one thing in common: the love of thrifting. I was invited to Goodwill's first ever Creator Summit. The day was spent learning about Goodwill, its missions, getting some behind the scenes info, and also meeting tons of other creators on panels and just networking. We were able to all chat and get to know each other, get inspired, and I was even asked to be on a panel, which was so exciting. Of course, I was nervous. You guys know I hate my public speaking, but I made a fool of myself in front of 29 people I had never met before. So, you know what? There it is. The most exciting thing is they had decor from Goodwill everywhere, and they even let me take this dog planter home. After the summit, we went to the Grand Avenue store, which obviously I'd never been to, down in Chicago. It was so awesome. I got some really good finds. Thank you, Goodwill.
Okay. As I was saying, there's going to be a new generation of Goodwill influencers, and they're already called Goodwill ambassadors. Holy moly, where are we going with this world? And they're recruiting more influencers, as we saw with this post. So essentially they're going to be like ambassadors slash like little influencers, and I think by next year they're going to have maybe doubled in numbers. So definitely worth tracking to see what they're doing, how they're specifically being voices of thrift. And there I got a Windows Defender summary. What the heck is that? But let us move on to talk about Temu. So if you're not familiar with Temu was fined $232 million for breaching EU rules on sale of illegal products. Very much a word vomit of a title. But let's listen. Let me check the audio one more freaking time. Dude, the audio is so good. Wait, the audio has never been this good before. What? The method was just to hold it really close to my mouth. Okay, let's look at this. So Temu fined $232 million for breaching EU rules. So there's a video. Finally, a freaking video. Let's watch it. Expand.
Temu has been fined $232 million for failing to stop the sale of illegal products, European Union tech regulators said on Thursday. It's the first part of a wide investigation under the EU's Digital Services Act, and further penalties could be handed out. The Act requires large online companies to do more to tackle illegal and harmful content on their platforms. Commission spokesperson Thomas Regnier said the company hasn't assessed the risks of illegal products being sold on its marketplace.
Dangerous toys for kids, small electronics without proper label, clothes and jewelry containing harmful chemicals, to name just a few. Our message is clear. If you want to access our market of 450 million consumers, you have to respect our rules, period.
In a statement, Temu says it respects the DSA objectives but disagrees with the Commission's decision. The company says it has taken further steps to strengthen risk assessment, platform governance and user protection. Regulators said they will continue their investigation into whether the design of Temu's service is addictive. The Commission gave Temu until late August to deliver a compliance action plan that regulators will assess.
What's the number one benefit you experience using Tremendous?
It's
very automated.
I do not want the commercial. Okay, so what the article says, Chinese online retailer Temu has been fined 200 million euros or $232 million for not doing enough to stop the sale of illegal products. European Union tech regulators said on Thursday following the first part of a wide investigation. Further Further penalties could follow in the coming months as a result of a nearly 2-year investigation under the Digital Services Act that requires large online companies to do more to tackle illegal and harmful content on their platforms. Whoa. Temu is in big, big trouble. Interesting. Let's look up what else we can find on this, and then I'll go from there. Let's see. BBC covered it as well. So let's see what they have to say. So the European Union has imposed a fine. Essentially, oh my god, what happened to the article? Bro, get the freak. What? Did you see that ad? Oh my goodness. So they're putting that fine on the Chinese-owned online retailer Temu for having illegal products such as dangerous baby toys and faulty charges for sales on its platform. The European Commission said the company had failed to diligently identify, analyze, and assess the systemic risks of the products and the harm they could cause to consumers. Temu has been under investigation since October 2024, whether it has been meeting its obligations as a designated very large online platform under EU law. The online retailer said it disagreed with the decision and deemed the fine disproportionate and was now considering available options. The investigation involved a mystery shopping exercise carried out by an independent testing organization, which found that a high percentage of charges purchased through Temu failed basic electrical safety tests. It also found that a high proportion of baby toys pose safety risks containing chemicals above legal limits or featuring small detachable parts that presented suffocation hazards. Oh my goodness. Euro News report. Dang. I should make myself a bit bigger here, okay, so you can actually see me. As well as paying the fine, Temu has to present an action plan to address the failures by August 28. The Commission then has 2 months to decide whether the company has done enough to comply. EU Tech Commissioner Henna told reporters that the decision was intended to set a very strong message to Temu. A Temu spokesperson said in a statement that the retailer respected the need for clear, consistent rules, but that the decision related to 2024 and did not reflect the current state of the systems. We disagree with the European Commission's decision and consider the fine to be disproportionate, they said. We are reviewing the decisions carefully and considering all available options. But the UK consumer organization, which praised the decision and urged the UK to follow suit. They say the EU's decision to fine Temu to the tune of 200 million euros is a strong example of the tough action needed to hold online marketplaces to account for dangerous products on their platforms, said Sue, head of consumer protections policy at Which. The UK government should follow the EU's example and make use of its new powers under the Product Regulation and Metrology Act to make online marketplaces legally responsible for dangerous products. The fine is the only second imposed under the EU's Digital Service Act for content, the first being a 120 million penalty against Elon Musk as social media network last December. very interesting. I do think that Temu has to be more responsible in their production, and I think this was needed and is not a surprise to me, especially when it comes to products for babies. We especially need to be super careful for the things that we put on babies. Their skin is so sensitive. They're so at risk for so many different things at that age. The chemicals can be highly lethal. We already suffer a lot being exposed to those chemicals, so imagine a baby. So again, they have until August 28th to address those issues, see if they're going to fix anything, and then the commission has 2 months to decide whether the company has done enough to comply. So this is going to be an ongoing thing. If you can avoid shopping from Temu, I highly recommend that, just because they be up to a lot of sus things. Okay. But just worth noting that this is happening. It's just nothing has been really been formalized. They haven't been able to, give them the full penalty of their consequences. You know how when someone does something bad and you're like, let me get them in trouble right now, but there's a process in getting them in trouble? Yeah, we're in the process of getting Temu into trouble. Let's fine them up. Give us the 200 million euros already. What are you waiting for? Give us the money. Shame on you for hurting them babies. But also, I did want to talk about how there are now what is called super Goodwills. Maybe you haven't heard of it. Maybe you've heard of Goodwill bins. Maybe you've heard of Goodwill stores. But I saw an Instagram post talking about super Goodwills, and they're opening up in the Bay Area, which I find fascinating. This sounds like I'm in support of the Goodwill monopoly or corporation in this stream. I'm not. It's just there's a lot happening. So let's look into this. Oh, where's the PR? Okay, this is an article, right? This will be... Okay, this is good. SF Gate, Goodwill's new superstore could be the future of Bay Area thrifting. So they explain that history was made on a recent Thursday in April as a line of hundreds of customers snaked around the shell of a former Big Lots in Fairfield. They had arrived sometimes before dawn. Cars circled the parking lot like vultures, and a bay of shopping carts beyond the automatic sliding doors at the entryway sat empty. Dude, is this a freaking story? Bro, what are they talking about? So basically, it was the birth of the largest Goodwill in the Bay Area, and from a monetary standpoint, it was the biggest opening in the thrifting empire history. Holy shit, that's what CEO Tim O'Neill told SF Gate. More than 4,000 transactions were recorded between April 16th and April 19th. He says, I was blown away, he said over the phone. There was 100,000 items on the sales floor, and then throughout the weekend we just kept refilling and refilling and refilling. So this is the super Goodwill, major store, bruh. This is like the freaking Walmart of Goodwills. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How long did they take to fill up all them racks? They want the racks for the racks. Dang. This is good. This is new branding. I haven't seen this sort of cursive. So a new chapter. What shoppers are calling the new Super Goodwill is the first notable step in a Bay Area resurgence for the nonprofit network. One O'Neill hopes will help it return to a positive operating margin after having to ship truckloads of locally donated clothes out of state on a weekly basis. A recent SFK investigation found a new pair of Levi's donated to the Goodwill on Haight Street and tracked with an Apple AirTag made their way to the nonprofit South San Fran Processing Center before zipping down Interstate 5 and landing at a warehouse in Phoenix. After a 940-mile journey, they were sold at a store in Arizona. Holy, that was a lot of traveling. Like many longtime thrifters, I assumed this was a sign that Goodwill was outsourcing some of its best inventory. When I moved to San Fran in 2018, I found my way across the Bay Area through my love of bargain shopping. I'd pick a Goodwill in a suburb but never heard of it, figure how to take public transit there, spend a day on a treasure hunt exploring the lost, exploring the hole in the wall, dive bars. Okay, they're just going on a story. So let's look if we have any videos. This is actually kind of fascinating. Freaking mammoth of a thrift store. This is their official PR release. It was out in March, so it's been happening for quite a while now. Officially operating on April 16th, so it's been, you know, April, May, June, 3 months. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Goodwill SF Bay. Okay, Fairfield. Let's see what comes up in Fairfield. Someone please make a vlog on this because I want to see the interior. I want to go to the Mammoth Goodwill just to know how they laid it out. I think there's a need for them to get rid of all the clothing that they have accumulated. And they don't want to be sending it to the bins, which I think is like the standard protocol. Like, I think they make more money making a mega store than sending it to the bins. Or maybe they don't have like an outlet / a bin store in their area. Okay, let's look at this news bit.
Fairfield, today the Goodwill opened up and there was a big celebration of the grand opening. It's the newest store in the Bay Area and it's the first of 10 large...
Not my freaking head covering her beautiful head. Head wars. I am the mega head and she's the little head and I shall move my head so you can see her head and there we go. We are Baca-ramas. We're Baca-ramas. Let's lower the freaking captions. What the heck? Okay, we'll start over.
Fairfield, today the Goodwill opened up and there was a big celebration of the grand opening. It's the newest store in the Bay Area and it's the first of 10 larger format stores expected to open here this year. And this is after Con4's Philippe Jagal reports the nonprofit closed about a dozen smaller stores just last year.
Henry grabbed the first spot in line at around 5:15 Thursday morning, and hundreds of people soon joined him outside Goodwill of San Francisco Bay's newest store in Fairfield.
Already the better, you know, because, you know, go in there and get all the good stuff before everybody else does.
Shortly after the nonprofit celebrated the grand opening with a ribbon cutting, the doors opened before 9 o'clock in the morning.
I love thrifting a lot, and I can't get enough. I can't get enough of it.
The 27,000 square foot building formerly housed Big Lots in the Fairfield Corners Shopping Center. It is now filled with 100,000 resale items, and the store will add 10,000 new items daily.
Yeah, it's a good deal. You get a Gap Witch here for like $7. You get another one here for $6. You know, and you know, if you look online, they're going to be $35-40.
This is the first new Goodwill store to open in the Bay Area in 2026, with dozens more slated to open in the next few years.
Right now, we have 10 stores that we know that we're going to open this year. This was literally one of the first 1 or 2 that we saw in the market, and then we've got 7 signed leases. Can't tell you where they are yet, but 7 signed leases with the hope that 10 will open this year, and then we'll try to do 10 every year following.
This comes after the nonprofit shuttered 11 of its thrift stores last year, part of the company's plan to open new stores 4 times larger than the old ones, including expanded backroom space for processing donations.
This store will employ about 35. The larger it gets, we'll keep adding team members until it gets to about 60 people, and you'll
35 to 60 people in one mega Goodwill store, bruh. A lot of nonprofits are run by like 10 people, but one mega Goodwill store has that many people? 30 to 60 people trapped in that thrift store, constantly pushing clothing and items out. Oh my goodness. This just kind of reminds me of how much human labor it takes for us to keep clothing and keep items in circulation. 30 to 60 people? Oh my goodness. We got a lot of stuff on this earth.
See that in every store throughout the market.
I think it's really important for us to reuse and recycle. It saves a footprint on the earth, and it's a great way to get the community together.
Together and eager for a bargain. In Fairfield, Philippe Jagal, Con4 News.
I think there was a lot of resellers in that line, trying to find something that they could price a bit higher, whether for a vintage fast store for their own, let's say eBay or Depop or whatnot show. There's a lot of opportunity to make a good deal if there's a lot of stuff in that store. So I'm a reseller, okay? If you don't like resellers, that's just kind of my bias. There's just a lot of inventory for them to look at and resell. I know that a lot of locals are like, oh, this should be kept in the local area. But did you guys look at the scale of that store? I think there's enough to pass around, no? Ryan is checking in on a brand new, or out, I cannot read. Ryan is checking out a brand new Goodwill in Fairfield. Okay, let's see. What does he show us? This is fascinating. Sacramento.
Hunt for hidden treasures and help the environment at a shiny new Goodwill.
Ryan Nelson getting some shopping on this morning in Fairfield, finding out what's new in the community. I've heard you already figured out a whole outfit.
Yeah, you saw the short shorts that Mark gave to me, but this Goodwill, it looks like Black Friday in here. Take a look around at how many people are exactly in this building. It's Friday, and it's Friday morning, and I know everybody just got paid, and that's why they are here at Goodwill, and I would love to give you all the details, but we have somebody here who is very important. I'm going to let him introduce himself to you all.
Hi, I'm Tim O'Neill. I'm the CEO of Goodwill of San Francisco Bay.
The CEO, the president.
He's the CEO, guys. He's like the big guy. He's the big guy.
Himself is here. President Tim is what I call him. Tim, can you tell us about this opening?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our brand new store in Fairfield. It's 27,000 square feet. There's 100,000 items out to choose from. We're adding 10,000 brand new items every day. So no matter when you come in, whether it's today or whether it's today in the future, you're always going to find great values. We have.
Oh my God, it's huge. There's so much clothing everywhere. Whoa. Honestly, I thought it could be bigger. It doesn't look... Okay,
Everything
it's big, but it's not that big. Do more. More mega. mega Goodwill store, huh?
For clothing, shoes, housewares, bedding, bath.
Imagine a thrift store the size of a Walmart. That would be mega.
Anything you can imagine, we have in this store.
Now, I believe that because when you look at the line for this, and that's not to discourage anybody, that's to let you know that there's quality things in this store. Where exactly does the line end? We saw where the registers are.
If you see the Goodwill sign.
Does the cameraman have ADHD? Why is he panning over and zooming into the balloons? Brother, focus. The CEO's talking. Pan it over. My goodness. I don't want to look at the balloons. Why are they showing us the balloons?
On the side of the wall, and those balloons, the blue balloon and the silver.
Oh, my bad. Okay, there's a point to it.
Balloon. That is the line for the cash registers wrapped all the way.
Oh my God, no.
Through the store over to the side of the building.
That's how you know there are some super good deals here.
That's the line? I thought the man just had ADHD and had some inkling to show us the balloon. It's wrapping all the way around. Oh my God, I would go home. I would not have the patience for this. I would not want to be in that line.
Of course, it's Goodwill. People can drop things off, and I heard that you can go home or at least leave with a gift certificate.
Yeah, absolutely. If you bring in a donation, you get a $5 off coupon to spend in the store. And this store is unique in that it has a drive-up donation center in the rear. You can bring your donations in, we unload your car, we get your tax receipt, get you on your way, and then the next thing you have to do is once you donate, come in and shop.
Wow, I love that. So again, you can donate in the rear or right when you come through the front doors. This gentleman right here.
Honestly, yeah, I absolutely could not with that line either, Marissa. Yeah, me neither. Honestly, this is kind of giving me anxiety because there's just so much stuff. And I'm thinking about all the things I have to resell. I literally, my goal in life is to get rid of everything that's in my room, everything that's in my basement, everything that's in the attic, and just have like 10 pairs of pants, 10 pairs of sweaters, 10 pairs of cardigans, and some boots. Like the only thing I want to see myself hoarding is boots and maybe have a shelf of books. It's just, when I look at the consumers, I just kind of think about like whether they're shopping because they're bored or this is interesting to them, or they generally need a new pair of, I don't know, shoes or pair of pants or a new cardigan, but if you have enough time to go to your grand opening before 9 for this mega Goodwill, I think you have a lot already in your closet. Maybe you just really love thrifting and want a distraction or have some sort of amusement in your month. But I just really want to get rid of everything. Now that I look at this is making me go the exact opposite way of what they intended. I do not want to go to the store. I want to never go to a thrift store again. I'm getting overwhelmed just looking at this video. I think that's what's happening. I saw the line and I was like, no, never mind. I hate it. I hate thrifting. Is it okay? So I just had a thought though. Basically what they're saying is this is the biggest Goodwill store in the nation, no? And then because I'm content pilled and content brained, I'm like, what if this could be a live stream? If I ever make it to San Francisco, I can go to Fairfield and we can look at the biggest Goodwill store in the freaking nation. I would get so overwhelmed. I would need headphones. But that would be like in years. Oh shoot, I moved my thing, guys. Oh my goodness, it's a party over here. No, I'm not gonna, I don't think I'm gonna go, no. Maybe in 2 years. Procrastinating something I don't like to do in 2 years. Yeah, maybe I'll go in 2 years.
He's got the blue gloves on. He handed me one of these right here. This is exactly what you're going to get. And we were just at a diner before this, and one of the employees said, oh,
This man is so passionate about his job. He's like, please take one. No one is taking it. I would take it for him. What is it? Remember to log in your beginning number and return this bag at the end of the shift. Oh, donation slips and then a coupon for $5 off. He's locked in. He likes his job, man. He really wants you to get that coupon.
Wish I can get down there because I heard that.
Oh, he really needs you to make those donations because without donations, they ain't going to be able to keep this operation operating. I see.
You guys were giving these away for donations.
Yeah, this is a crazy grand opening. This has the potential to set the record for the largest we've ever had. It's really surprising because when you look at this, you're talking about a parking lot that holds about 200 cars and there is not a space available.
Oh, I believe it. Mark and I were driving around. We almost went to McDonald's. We were just wondering.
You're telling me that 200 people are in that store? Okay, maybe I'm underestimating how big it is, but based on how they panned it over, maybe it's because I'm so used to watching streams and yeah, I don't know. I think maybe this is bigger than what I'm thinking. Interesting.
Where can we park? Because this place is packed. You have to feel proud about this.
Oh yeah, I'm really proud. But you know what it is? It's the local team because everybody here is somebody we've hired locally. They've worked so hard on this store to get it ready, and they're the ones that are really proud of everything they've done, and I'm just proud of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Friday. It's payday. Thursday. I'm sorry, my days are mixed up.
No, they're in here shopping before.
Thursday? It's a Thursday and he said it's a Friday. That'd be me. Is it Friday yet, please?
Or it's payday.
Well, that means they got more money than me. And they're here and they're shopping and doing it well. Like I said, full baskets are here and around this store. Now, hours of this store.
The store is open 9 to 9 every day of the week. You can donate all during the same times. And again, you know, one of the things we really pride ourselves on is making sure there's always a great assortment. So every day that you come in, you're going to find something new because we have production teams working in the back of the store, processing donations to get about 10,000 brand new items out every day. So there's a great variety when you come in.
Absolutely. And there are great prices here. I guarantee that. So make sure you get down to this Goodwill and bring some donations. Wonderful stuff. And the line is moving. I can see those balloons moving.
There we go. Thank you, Ryan.
The balloon is indeed moving. Oh, so do they move the balloon over to the next person? Let's say I get in line. They're like, yo, you get the balloon now. I would not want that balloon. I would not want that balloon. Oh, okay, that was actually so fun to watch, guys. I feel like... Okay, guys, I want to show you guys a thought. Yesterday, I did crash out. I am indeed wearing eyelashes because I wanted to try something new. Anyways, but remember how I started streaming a long while ago, back in January 2025, right? And I started off really janky with my laptop. I didn't even have like a decent mic. I think I was using, what was it? Like a plug-in mic
that was connected to my laptop. Yeah, I was so excited to stream. I was like so locked in the news and talking about this just in general. Just like the idea of talking about this topic for like 2-3 hours and possibly having like someone listen was already like a huge, beautiful thing for me. And I think I slowly lost that like joy and happiness, and the grit of the work just got to me. But yeah, I think I've improved so much of my systems. I've improved so much of my streams. Ignore the audio issues today. That I think it kind of made it less fun, that things were easier now. Like I have 2 monitors, I have an HD camera, I have this like mic thing. I kind of know what I'm doing. People are following me. People kind of know of me and stuff, but I don't know. I think I just kind of lost the joy of it. I don't know. Did someone... Wait a minute. Give me 1 second. Someone followed... Someone... Okay, I got distracted. Never mind, it's not a big deal. There's just 2 people with the same username that followed me. I was like, wait a minute, it's the same person that followed me twice. I got distracted. But anyways, yes, I just found it, there was so much joy when I used to cover the news. And then I slowly kind of lost that as I got things to be more improved and I became more efficient in my systems. But honestly, like just looking at this video for some reason, it just reminded me of like the initial joy of just covering this sort of news. I just love learning about the most random stuff that's happening. Like, why do we need this mega Goodwill store for? It's so random. Oh my god. Don't we have anything better to be doing? Oh my goodness. I low-key wish more people like took the time to vlog this shit, cuz I would want to see a first-person perspective on like someone going to this thrift store and trying to like find deals in it. Going to the mega Goodwill store in Fairfield. That would be a banger video. Banger. Okay, there's nothing really else here but those videos. So let's move on to the next thing that I want to talk about, which was... Okay, so France fines Shein $26 million over consumer rule breaches. Shein to challenge. This is by Reuters. Unfortunately, no video by them, but released on June 3rd, and it says France has fined fast fashion Shein about 22 million euros over issues with returns, product information, and order confirmations, a penalty the company described as disproportionate and vowed to challenge. The Directorate General for Competition, Consumer Affairs, and Fraud Control said on Wednesday it had fined Shein 16.7 million euros for the order confirmation issues and 5.8 million euros for issues for returns and environmental quality information. So, let us take a look to see if there is any YouTube videos on this. I'm so curious like what the specific issues were, because that was very vague. They didn't really detail anything. Like, what was that about? What was that about? Is there any coverage? Thrifting tips from a former thrift store employee. Ooh, what is this? Am I like breaking the audio by coughing into this? Oh wait, this channel looks interesting. He looks like he has a fun personality. Okay. What is this, though?
Running a business is hard.
Wait a minute. This looks fun. I kind of want to watch this. What is this? Has Carrie jumped in? I didn't see her jump in today. I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that she sent me.
vintage-inspired home decor look that's trendy now. But you don't have the money to hit the antique stores, and you're not finding what you need at the thrift stores? Let me show you how to thrift in 2026. I want to see the freshest stuff as it goes out to the floor, and I think that's the best time to do that. And second tip here is have some idea of what you're looking for. Maybe you have a list of things that you need for your house.
Wait, this is low-key
The point of
fire.
our store was to raise money to support the organization and the cause, right? Not every
Okay. Definitely seems like he's an amazing YouTuber. I love him.
thrift store is that way, so that may not necessarily apply, but at places like the Restore, Goodwill, depending on the region that you're in, prices are as marked, color discount systems are in place, and it's tacky to ask for discounts, I think. Maybe you don't think so.
Okay. So we'll watch him a bit later. I think I'm going to jump off soon. I am freaking sweating bullets. But I do want to cover how Shein is freaking being attacked by France right now. So let's see. Is this another AI video? Billionaire's Room. Is this AI? What?
Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're looking at a massive jaw-dropping
Is this AI?
22 million euro penalty that just got slapped on a fast fashion giant. And look, make no mistake, this isn't just a slap on the wrist or, you know...
Look at the new regulatory era we're entering.
Yes, absolutely. Regulators are basically saying that basic transparency isn't a perk anymore. It's a...
I think this is AI. Oh my god, I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore when it comes to news. There's no recent YouTube videos on this. All of the other videos are different.
Ultimately, the point of our store...
Holy moly. Okay, so let's look if we can find any other articles on this so we can get more information. Shein has France has France fines Shein $26 million. Okay, let's see. I feel bad for people with freaking earbuds in. Reject all cookies, of course. Okay, so this one breaks it down. So it says the French authorities have imposed 2 fines on Shein, totaling 22 million euros. Following investigations conducted in 2025, the Directorate General for Competition Policy, Consumer Affairs, and Fraud Control announced 2 sanctions against Chinese e-commerce company on Wednesday, June 3rd. The first fine sanction is the lack of information in the order confirmation emails sent to Shein customers. The emails failed to mention the order's price, the seller's name, and the delivery time, even though these details can be accused or accessed via the customer's account. Shein was fined 16.7 million euros on this account. The second fine, which is of 5.7 million euros, is related to Shein's non-compliance with their right of withdrawal, which grants every e-commerce customer 14 days to change their mind, and lack of environmental information. So they were saying that nothing justifies, given established facts, sanctions of such magnitude. The platform argued in a statement contesting the administrative sanctions as manifestly disproportionate and discriminatory compared to those of DGCCRF had previously imposed on companies in the e-commerce sector. Wow, interesting. So I do think that this is not a surprise. France has been very harsh on Shein. They do not want to see Shein continue to operate in their country whatsoever. So they're going to nitpick any single thing they can to get them out of their freaking country. It's just sad that Shein continues to get away with what they've been getting away with, and France is basically trying to catch up and nitpick and target their efforts into specific things so they can make Shein's brand operations so much more harder. So very excited to see what comes from this. Again, we're going to have to take a while for this to basically roll out and see what happens really, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, dang. Guys, I can't breathe. It's so hot. I do want to know like how this is going to happen in the court system. I wish there was more transparency about how they can find them this way and like how the lawyers are approaching this. I don't really have a full scope of fashion law, and so every time I come across these situations, I'm like, okay, like how do we really know where to get updates, like what the full sort of lawsuit is on either or side, and like how we can like remain updated, like what's trustworthy places we can stay updated and know the biases within that reporting, because I feel like there's just a lot of room for interpretation when it comes to these situations. But definitely we'll be trying to keep track of this and see what happens with the consumer rule breaches, because I do freaking hate Shein. I hate Shein with a freaking passion. But I want to move on and talk about how there's a couple that is refusing to close their doors in the LA fashion district. I still very much want to go to LA's fashion district, also known as the garment district. They have so many amazing spots, like the what's called the alley, Santia alley, I think it's called. And they have a lot of like sweatshop activism against sweatshops. I want to support the Garment Worker Rights Center. That is something that I've wanted to be exposed to. They have like a building. They have so many great programs that I would just like want to see in person. Okay, so this is an article by the LA Times. Wait, why is it like kept under a paywall? It wasn't kept under the paywall. Okay, I see an Instagram video. Let me see if that's enough. Okay, let's see. Maybe this will work.
Joel Galvez and Lenore Torres have been in survival mode. In Los Angeles Fashion District, the couple owns shops specializing in dresses for proms, weddings, and quinceañeras, that Latin American rite of passage celebrating a young girl's 15th birthday. Last June, the Fashion District was where the Trump administration carried out its first large-scale immigration raids. The raids set off days of civil unrest and disrupted life throughout the district. Not long after the raids, I've watched how, month after month, they've struggled to keep their businesses afloat. Fearful of being detained or deported, Latino patrons stayed home. Once busy stores were often empty, customers canceled orders for ball gowns. Other businesses in the quinceañera industry, such as ballrooms and limousine services, got cancellations too. Lenore debated whether she should start carrying extra ID, even though she is a U.S. citizen. Despite the overwhelming financial strain, Joel and Lenore refused to close their doors. Girls and mothers still visit their stores, and all smiles find that perfect dress. You can see more photos and read Ruben Vives' story about Joel and Lenore at latimes.com.
So interesting. I mean, it is harder and harder to effectively compete and survive in the fashion industry as things get cheaper and cheaper via production through okay, so how do I explain this in a simple way? I feel like I sometimes talk in a riddle. So I think it's just harder for locals to make money and compete in the fashion industry when we see other brands, major brands, outsource their materials, their production, their labor to countries in what's called the global south, such as Bangladesh, other countries, and they pay their workers very little. So what that means in the long run is they're trying to save money so they can make more money. And so when it comes to locals, often enough they're using local materials, local workers, local initiatives, essentially, which are more expensive and harder to how do I explain this? It's just harder to make more money. It's harder to cut corners when you're doing things locally. But I think that's the most beautiful type of business. Those that are local, those that hire local Los Angeles, use local artists, use local textiles. I think it creates the most beautiful items versus having like the Shein dress. I will always choose the local, beautifully made dress than the Shein option. But the masses are not like me. They want the most affordable item. They want the cheapest thing. They don't really care if it's like not comparable to the local one. They just want something for like a special event or a special day, and then kind of get rid of it really quickly. So there needs to be a major shift in how we consume items, but also we need the government and a lot of other brands to actually care about locals and care about their impact and do the right thing and not outsource as much as they do. So it's so freaking inspiring when I see business owners like Joel who are really taking the initiative to continue to be in business, especially at the risk of like the raids and so much just violence and hate against Latinos in general. So definitely support your local business, your local quinceañera dress shops. They are doing the Lord's work. I also do want to touch on the fact that there has been some news that Everlane's founder went on to create a new organization called Still Radical after she and bought Everlane. Drama. Everlane got bought out by Shein, but hey, the founder is still doing the right thing by creating this brand called Still Equity. So this man, his name is Michael, right? And so Michael is taking his new project, Still Radical, and making major moves with it. They're making major moves with it. Am I breaking the audio by laughing? I'm breaking the audio, guys. I'm breaking the barriers here. Oh my god, the audio is so bad. Okay, let me lower it a bit. Okay, I think that's better for the audio cracks. So what's happening? It says a launch page and a post from Diet Prada identifies Everlane's founder Michael as a person behind a new fashion brand operating under the name Still Radical. Details about the product lineup remains limited, but the company is being positioned as a revival of the core idea behind Everlane. Sustainable, ethical fashion. Who the hell is going to buy from Still Radical? Bro copped out and still wants to think that he can make a business after that. That's known for sustainability and ethics. Oh my goodness. The launch page says the brand has no private equity or venture capital backing, meaning that this time Praisman can control the company's strategic direction as well as any future sales. So it kind of sounds like he's recovering, but didn't he supposedly have control of Everlane beforehand? So anyways, let's see what this is. Why does this shift matter? The news comes as more shoppers question how their clothes are made, how long they last, and what happens when they're thrown away. Cheap, overproduced clothing carries major downsides. The industry is linked to water contamination from dyeing and treatment processes, air pollution from manufacturing and shipping, and exploitative labor practices that help prices be low. It can also be a waste of money for consumers. Poorly made garments often lose shape, pill, tear, or fade quickly, pushing people to replace them again and again. A low sticker price can lead to higher spending over time. So what's being done? Still Radical is trying to reclaim some of the transparency and sustainability-focused appeal that helped define Everlane in 2010. The clearest concrete signal so far is the financial structure. By promising no private equity or venture capital, the brand... Okay, let me reread that again. By promising no private equity or venture capital, the brand is presenting itself as outside the usual growth at all costs playbook that often pushes companies towards higher volume and lower prices. So that does not automatically guarantee better products or cleaner supply chains, and the brand has not yet laid out a full roadmap. But the framing suggests Praisman wants to test whether a fashion business can win customers by offering a different model rather than simply more merchandise. So Praisman reportedly described the efforts as an experiment, suggesting the company may be testing a different way to build a fashion label. So that is the PR answer, and this is the freaking starting page. This is all there is. I started Everlane in 2011. On May 29th, the current management team sold it to Shein, but we're starting over. Same principles, but a new take. And this time, no venture capital, no private equity, just sign up is required. I'll email you. Michael, founder of Everlane. So there is 92,959 signups right now. and it's called stillradical.com. Very grungy underground vibes. If you're like a real fan and took the time to learn about this and are tracking him, this is how you've learned about this. But it's not, those numbers are really good. This has been out for like a couple weeks, maybe like 2 weeks max, and it already has 92,000 signups. Oh my god. I don't really wanna sign up. I don't want to sign up. I'm not going to sign up to this. I have a lot more questions than anything else about the trajectory of Still Radical. I have questions about how Everlane is going to continue operating. I think that clarity is essential for me, especially if I consider myself a conscious consumer. I think having a lot of access to information allows me to be conscious in the process of consuming. So until they give me more information and transparency, I will not be signing up. I can't blindly follow someone after knowing that Shein bought their last company, you know? Even if they inherently blame the management team, like he was like part of that power structure. So like he had something to do with Shein taking over at some point, or made some decisions to lead to it. So I wouldn't necessarily wash his hands out of responsibility, which it seems like he's kind of doing, if he's implying, oh my god, like my company got bought out by my management team, like boo-hoo, it was your management team, no? Anyways, but I do want to really know what happened behind those boardrooms, behind the partnership with Shein, how this happened, and just in general, like how did this even end up happening? I want the details. I want the tea, okay? I will sign up only when I have all the information laid out about how Shein came to buying Everlane and destroying a lot of people's faith in ethical fashion, because Everlane stood as an example essentially against fast fashion on a major mainstream level. And then when it's like co-opted or consumed, I guess, by Shein, it's like, bro, like we don't got no example. Like what do we look forward to now? Like what's the thing that we look at and are like, yes, that's the brand I'll buy from. That's supposed to be sustainable and empowering. So, okay. But just wanted to highlight that's happening. I have no other takes. Until I know more information, I won't be speaking on it. So I'm going to go back and talk about, let's see. I think I'm going to jump off right now. But I think it's sad. There's so many models that are really victims of brands, and one of the unfortunate cases was of this model who drowned on site for his modeling gig, and it really is devastating, and I just feel for the family who is grieving for him. So let us look at this incident. I think I didn't include the D in his name. It's been everywhere. So let me go through the situation first with you guys. Is there any videos on this? Let me see if there's any videos on this. My audio is crispy crisp. Dip, dip, dip. It is crispy crispy. You can hear me struggling to breathe. You can hear me go. Ew. Okay, there's no YouTube videos on it. We're gonna go to TikTok, and then we'll read some articles on it. I could have gone immediately to the article, but that's not my method. That's not my method. That's not my method. I also did not go to the PokeFest. It was this weekend. I did not go. I decided that I shall not go. Okay, where is a good video? I don't see anything.
A model just died on set and no one's talking about it. 26-year-old Ivyanshu Joshi was a Delhi-based model and store manager for Kartik Research, a popular Indian brand that was an LVMH semi-finalist in 2023. Joshi was scouting a shooting location in Petamala, an abandoned quarry in popular tourist destination Kerala. Petamala is a beautifully scenic stone quarry, but It was shut down decades ago after multiple deaths due to its dangerous deep pools diagnosed as death traps. They're extremely deep, extremely cold, and completely overgrown with aquatic vegetation. Kartik Research were preparing to do an ad shoot in the off-limits location and visited it a day prior in preparation for the shoot day. After successfully scouting some spots, Joshi decided to enter the water. He got back out, went back in, then slipped on a shallow edge and fell straight into a narrow opening beneath him. Joshi's devastating death probes a wider question in the industry in relation to smaller brands and the appropriate risk to take to stand out. In a world where brands are popping up so frequently and the fight for attention and notoriety gets tougher and tougher every single year, it forces smaller brands to challenge the status quo and take more risks to create powerful creative. But when things like this happen, it's a shocking reminder of the perilousness danger smaller brands put themselves and their teams in each time they go off-site to shoot a new campaign. A model just died.
Alright, okay, so we're gonna look at this. The Women's Wear Daily covered it as well. So there's been more research and outcry against the conditions that models go through in their gigs because of this. So there's been a lot of conversations about safety. But this is a different person. How many people are dying? This is a different person. Okay, let's have the article read. Yeah, it is so sad. It's so freaking sad. I'm like struggling to breathe. I need to jump off and douse myself in cold water. What the heck? Okay, let's listen.
Kartik Research employee's death prompts discussions about safety. While the circumstances of Ivyanshu Joshi's death are reportedly under investigation, the company addressed the loss of the 26-year-old on Instagram. As a police inquiry into the death of a Kartik Research employee continues, the brand's planned runway show at this month's Men's Fashion Week in Paris has been postponed. Ivyanshu Joshi, a freelance model who managed Kartik Research's store in Delhi for 2 years, died on May 28 while in Kerala, India, for a photo shoot. The company confirmed his death in an Instagram post, stating, "We are heartbroken by the loss of our dear colleague and friend." Kartik Research's founder Kartik Kumar declined to comment Monday through a company spokesperson. In its social media post, Kartik Research claimed, as inaccurate accounts of this tragedy continue to circulate, we wish to clarify that Ivyanshu was in Kerala as part of a seasonal photo shoot and was not participating in any swimming-related activity as part of the production. Some public reports have mischaracterized the circumstances of the incident. Media requests to police officials in Kerala were not acknowledged Monday. Kartik Research posted that it was sharing the clarification so that the focus remains on honoring Joshi's life and memory, and it noted that no further public comment would be made. Media reports in India said a preliminary probe into Joshi's death was underway. An autopsy is being conducted, according to someone familiar with the situation. Local reports claimed that Joshi had gone to an abandoned quarry in Pettamala to scout the location for the photo shoot, and he had drowned. The site is reportedly off-limits to swimming and is known for its hazardous conditions.
Sponsor message, then we're back.
No.
City of Hope, a place where seeming...
It's just commercials. My ear. It's just yapping. I muted it. You guys can't hear. No, honestly, it really is sad. And from what it sounds, they're blaming the model for scouting out the location. And, yeah, they're just basically saying it's his fault and didn't pay attention to hazardous conditions. They're basically washing their hands of the responsibility of his death.
In Delhi, said in an email Monday that Joshi's death is impacting the fashion community in ways we haven't thought of before. While the circumstances and cause of Joshi's death are still unclear, his passing has triggered a serious conversation about safety on shoots, and broader discussions about accountability, risk assessment, emergency preparedness and crew welfare, Nigam said via email. I strongly feel this was much needed and something people have been very callous about. Ivyanshu's death is a wake-up call that is forcing the industry to confront questions about safety, responsibility and the protection of models and creative teams that have often received too little attention, Nigam wrote. After graduating from Delhi University with a bachelor's degree in 2021, Joshi worked for two streetwear companies in India, Main Street and Blueorng, before joining Kartik Research in March 2024, according to his LinkedIn profile. Nagam said friends of Joshi described him as a warm, ambitious and dedicated young professional whose passion for fashion extended beyond the runway. GQ reported the label's June 25th show, during the spring 2027 edition of Paris Men's Fashion Week, will be postponed. A media request to the Fédération de la Haute Couture, which oversees the Men's Fashion Week calendar, was not immediately returned. Kumara hatched the idea for his company after COVID-19 pandemic-related restrictions prompted him to return home from the University of Pennsylvania. Having bought and resold sneakers as a high schooler, he built upon that interest in fashion by using YouTube tutorials to teach himself how to sew during the shutdown. The designer, who earned a degree in economics from UPenn, traveled extensively in India to find craftspeople to develop a pipeline for the different aspects of his South Asian-inspired collections. The two-time LVMH Prize semi-finalist has celebrity fans, such as Steph Curry, Lewis Hamilton, and actors Damson Idris and Paul Mescal. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani helped spotlight Kartik research by wearing a tie that was made of Erie silk from Assam, India, for his official swearing-in ceremony on January 1st. That choice was made with help from stylist Gabriella Carafa Johnson. Kartik research's post read that Joshi was deeply loved by his team and will be profoundly missed by everyone who had the privilege of knowing and working alongside of him.
Here's another.
Okay. It is incredibly sad, and I really wish that hadn't happened. And at least you're taking a break and kind of grappling with it. The designer seems like he's had a lot of influence, a lot of success in his own life, and this is like a tragedy in the midst of that success. And I think they really need to reconsider how they approach shoots, who gets to scout the areas. I don't think it should be on the model to go look for the area they're going to do a shoot. Maybe he like volunteered or just have that initiative, but it's really just sad. And yeah, it's just really sad. I really want to see more protection for models just in general. They often are given random contracts or harassed consistently, whether it's men or women. There's so much expectations on them as well, to look a certain way, to be a certain way, and it can be a lot for them. So just overall sending well wishes to models in general, because they'd be feeling so much freaking pressure. And it can be deadly sometimes, unfortunately. So I'm going to end it there. I really appreciate everyone that jumped on. This was kind of a scuff stream, especially because of the audio, but it's just hot and I don't perform the best in hotness and the heat. Hopefully you guys liked the news, the chill vibes. I'm practicing more and more every day. I started off with, 0 followers, and now I'm slowly growing, and I think I just need to remind myself of that. Like, every day is a new day, and we always just keep improving and keep pushing and keep being informed and keeping true to helping others, helping the earth, helping reach social change. So yes, I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm going to try to do the PJs tomorrow. I will be doing the PJs. I'm not trying. I will be doing the PJs. And then we'll see where we go from there. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for jumping in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe in this heat. My makeup is melting. Do you see this? Oh my goodness. This is chaotic makeup time. Chaotic makeup time over here. But I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Thanks for now. Bye-bye. See ya later. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye. See ya. See ya. Ba 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 ba. Is YouTube done? Let's see. 2 hours and 48 minutes. Wow. Wow.